evening and welcome to probably our last draft update. There's only one pick in one division and one round left to go in the last division. So we're going to go through all the divisions tonight and we're going to pick our winners. Well, who our experts think are going to win. Welcome to Craig tonight.
Good evening, Johnny. How are you?
I'm okay, thank you. Recovered after, was it last night? The auction draft, which was fun.
Yeah, that was a beast of one, wasn't it? 3 hours, 10 minutes.
3 hours and 11 minutes, yeah. That was a good one, though. I enjoyed that.
10 minutes. But it's an auction league, and that's what happens in auction league. That's what they do. Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see what you've done. Here's the thing. I don't know what anyone's done because I've not got access to the leagues yet. I'll get them when the season starts. I don't particularly want them right now, But I'm going into this blind, I'm going to be looking at these teams for the first time. So it's very much, I've not had the chance to, I know that you sent them over, but I've not had the chance to look, Johnny, so I'm blind.
No worries. Well, I made an announcement in the group chat and I'll make it again here. Obviously, Sleeper's done a new update and you can add a substitute list. You can pick a player to sub if they get called off last minute. And I have activated it in all my leagues because it certainly comes in handy for the different time zones and stuff like that. Ken, it just saves getting shafted.
Very much so,
and it's a nice thing. Well, a lot of times I don't get home till after 6 o'clock, so it suits me as well. And I know you get the option in the NFL, but you've got to pay for it. So this is free, so you can't argue with that. So that has been activated everywhere.
I'm pretty much on Sleeper 24/7 during the season, so I won't be using it, but I understand the need for it. And yeah, absolutely. It's a handy tool to have.
Well, it's handy especially because I don't get home till like sometimes bang on 6 o'clock. And obviously I can't check the phone while I'm driving. So yeah, it's a good one. So
yeah, we'll see how it works.
So a few people have been happy. I got a few messages when it came up on Twitter. I hadn't even seen it yet, so I do do it. So yeah, so all the leagues that I run, it has been added. So this is fair way across the board. So we'll get started. Everett will be heading home soon. Drive safe, Everett. No about the point running off the road with the kids.
Yeah, there he is. We'll discuss it when you come in. We'll discuss it when you come in, Everett. But yeah, the auction league, the auction's always a fun way to draft. It's a good way to draft. I enjoy it.
Oh yeah, you are getting free advertising for your brand. So after that, you can change it in your leagues as well then. Right, so we'll get started. And obviously, Jack doesn't have to wait very long before you rip him apart because he is actually number one pick in this one.
Have you got your other viewer thing? Because I can't see who's got what on this. Is this league finished, Johnny?
Yes.
Can we run through it in the first week games and we can run through the 6 first week games just so as I can see the team lined up properly as opposed to all over the place like this, because I can't make out who's done what. But if we go through them on the league bit, I can see the actual teams, Yeah, there we go. If we do it this way and just check week ones and we'll go down each of the teams this way and we'll see what they've done. Just have a quick look at each game, and that'll let us see each team. That. So here we go. We've got Anacott. So who's this? Anacott Citizens and Glasgow Eagles. So we've got Graham here. And let's see what we've got here. So what's Anacott Citizens done? So Allen, White, Walker, Nakua, Dell, Rome, Ferguson, Pollard, Shakir. And I mean, these the starting lineups all should look quite decent, But let's see what's on the bench more to the point. So what we've got: Stafford, Sanders, Corley, McCaffrey, Sutton. I like Sutton. I like the chance of Sutton getting a game, and coming in. But yeah, I mean, I like the fact that there's only one quarterback on the bench. That's always a good sign to me that the team has been drafted well. So and he's pretty much in all the league. He is getting drafted, Bateman. He's getting drafted in pretty much every league. Yeah. He's one of these guys who he was supposed to be brilliant and he's just not shown it yet, has he?
No.
So I'm way off him this year. I'm not going near him, but there's a good, he was a first-round draft pick, and they seem to be persevering with him, Baltimore. So it could, this might be a year that he comes good.
Yeah, but they say
But
that every.
outside of that, I'm scared. I'm kind of scared of that bench a little bit. Sutton, decent. Yeah, he can come in and play. Who's this Parkinson, by the way? This is a name that's just been popping up to me now.
The Rams signed him in the off season. I think they signed him to a 2 or 3 year contract. So he got paid He got paid to play. So, but they've still got
well, yeah.
Higby as well. So
I've got to say, I don't know that much about Parkinson, so I'm a bit blind. I'm not, I don't know much about him at the moment, so I'm going to have to look up to him. I like that there's no defenders on the bench there as well, so I like what Ancoat Citizens has done in terms of the team the way he's put the team together.
yeah.
I'm just, Davies, I think might be a bit of a, he'll have a week or two maybe. Sanders is a dodgy one, and Carolina again, he should get touches, but what's he going to do with them really? So that bench looks a wee bit weak to me. Whereas if we look at Graham's bench over here, we've got Rodgers on the bench.
You've got the cheat code of Taysom Hill.
You've like Taysom Hill's one of those ones, and it could do anything, it could do nothing. Rodgers, stick a quarterback on the bench. I've not got a problem with one. Dylan, Dylan is not going to disappear, Johnny. Dylan's going to be fine this year. Dylan will score points. Dylan will get touches, and especially now Lloyd looks completely knackered. I mean, he looks done.
Does he? I've not heard anything. What happened?
Yeah, I think it's hamstring, but it's they're saying it's pretty bad. They're saying he might be missing the start of the season. A good kind of month or so of it. So I think Dylan's going to do just fine.
I know.
Dowdle as well. Dowdle will get his touches. I know, Elliott's there, and I like Elliott, and I think he's going to have a better season. But Dowdle's going to get his touches too. Thiel's an old man. Dontavian Wicks, my feelings behind him. I really like Dontavian Wicks. Cornwall, he's very playable. Watts on the bench. Who's in his defensive? Watts on his bench?
Nick Bolton and TJ Edwards. So.
Yeah, I picked up TJ Edwards. I have to say, I took him. I got him very late, which I was very happy with. So yeah, I mean, both these teams are looking certainly nothing silly on them. I much prefer the look at Glasgow Eagles. I have to say, I think it looks a stronger team because the bench looks stronger.
Very true.
Nothing disastrous there.
No, it's a close one. Yeah, they were the highest. The Warriors as well. They were good.
This is the top division. This is Division 1, so you are expecting to see goodness here. I love the running back for Carroll, the running back room for Carrollton Crew there. Williams and Cook there too. I think they'll score really well this year.
He's got your man Jefferson.
Jefferson, London, Kirk, Allen, Johnson. The starting lineups are all going to be decent. Komet, I'm big on. I think he'll do okay this year. McBride, obviously, is going to be a big one. And I'm getting so much hotter on Brock Bowers. See, every day that goes past, I'm getting bigger and bigger on Brock Bowers. And I get the feeling it might bite me in the ass come the season starting, and they've still got Michael Mayer there as well. And let's not forget, he was an early pick last year. Was he not a first-round draft pick last year too?
Who's that?
Mayer.
Oh, Miss Eugene. Yeah, he was. He was. But then he's more of a blocker than a
pick as well.
Yeah.
So that's my problem with Bowers. But I just the noise that's coming out of there is that he's going to be getting the ball a lot. They're going to find a way to get him the ball. So I really like Bowers
His
this year.
highlights were awesome. As well. He was running over people in college.
Well, I like the whole loading up. The Lamb Dak holdout. For me, Jackson, that is it puts me off Lamb massively. I mean, I won't draft Lamb where he's going anyway because I would rather have Jefferson, I would rather have Hill, I would rather have Chase. So I ain't getting Lamb anywhere. But this is the holdout is why when you have that holdout, he'll be playing for the Dallas Cowboys this year, Lamb. But he's going to be coming into the season cold because he's sitting out. And when you get these sit-outs, the guy that always takes him a few weeks to get going and stuff. So yeah, I'm not going to have Lamb anywhere. I don't think Lamb's a bad player. I think Lamb's an absolutely fantastic player. I think he's one of the best receivers in the game. I just think he's in for a wee bit of a slow start this year, and I'm not interested in drafting him in the first round anywhere. What about you, Johnny?
Well, obviously I got him early on in a few leagues, but yeah, obviously I try not to draft him. The fact he's a Dallas player anyway. Like, but I prefer Amon-Ra, Hill, and Chase and Jefferson over him.
Yeah,
he had a good year last year, but you're relying on Dak, and Dak is Dak. He will get the points, but I said before, I picked Bell in my league, but I only picked Bell because Amon-Ra got picked before me, because I was looking to get him in a 107.
Yeah,
and I think Chase came after that. I would have picked Amon-Ra because he gets the targets and he's a battler. But
absolutely. I mean, I would. This year, with this situation, I would take Amon-Ra over CD as well, as the situation is at the moment. I'd probably take Bijan Robinson over him as well, and I'd probably take Breece Hall over him as well. So, so I'm not getting Lamb this year anywhere, but I do think that he's top class receiver, and he will do, and especially coming to the back end of the season, that's when and that's when you're getting to playoff time, you're getting to championship time. So yeah, I think he'll do just fine. I'm not putting anyone off. I wouldn't try and put anyone off drafting him. I'm just saying he's not for me this year because of the way he's been drafted.
Cool. And if we go back to the teams, the Carlton crew don't have a kicker, and you only picked one defender.
You know me. I do that all the time as well, Johnny. I have drafted my kicker this year in the last round there, just because
it's not a bad one to get though.
I've got so many teams now that I'll forget to come back and get the kicker from someone. So I'm just picking up my kicker now. But I've got no issue with the no kicker and get an extra player on your bench that you can drop for the kicker, before kickoff. I'm a big fan of that move. And it gives you those more options in your bench in case someone picks up an injury or something in pre-season,
Well, he's got Hopkins. Is he on the pup?
Who's that?
Hopkins. So if he's out, you could chuck him in his IR. That'll free up a space. Well, yeah, he's got Ertz, Shaheed, Williams, Cooks, Hopkins, Elliott, McLaughlin, and Herbert.
See, that's a good bet. I mean, on that bench there, you could play Elliott most weeks. Obviously, Hopkins is very playable. Cooks is very playable. Mike Williams. I mean, if Rodgers is even 80% of the Green Bay Packers, Aaron Rodgers, Mike Williams will have a big year if he stays fit. Shaheed is going to have his big weeks. He always does. He's the bomber. He goes long. He's going to be picking up long touchdowns, so he will score his weeks, but he will also have weeks where he does absolutely nothing. So it's a balancing act.
It is a bit.
So yeah, I mean, I like what Carlton Crew's done because when I look on the bench, I think you can plug any of those players in any given week and be happy that they're in the starting lineup. When you've got problems. So I like the depth in Carlton Crew there, and I'm looking at the other side as well. I mean, Reece Sama is. I've picked him up in a couple of dynasties just to chuck him on the taxi. You never know, but
yeah,
I get the
I've
feeling
got him in a few best balls in the last round. But...
Yeah, I mean, that kind of thing.
Hi, Derek.
Evening, Derek. As it's Reece Sama, just not for me. If he does anything, get him out of agency. But I think it's a waste of a bench space having him sitting there. I mean, Dobbins, Gibson, both be plugged in anytime. Polk can be plugged in. Sanders, he's going to be the number one tight end there.
Oh yeah, definitely. But she's going to be a good blanket for Hall. Real young. And I like McMillan. He's been pretty good too. So, but then your pals in the slot.
Yeah, I mean,
McMillan will go.
But that's the thing about the rookie ones as well. Any one of them could be anything, and any one of them could be really good, and any one of them could be, you've got when you go away from kind of first round, second round wide receiver picks that are going to be starting, that are going to get the ball. You got your likes, he'll do okay there. The other one that I'm looking at, I mean, Corley at the Jets could do okay there, but it's big could. The other one I'm quite liking at the moment is the boy that went to the Bengals. Is it Burton? Jermaine Burton or something?
Jermaine Burton.
Yeah.
93 yards, I think he got at the weekend.
And he's got he's got a thrown quarterback there as well, and one of the best thrown quarterbacks. So I'm happy to pick him up, type thing. But yeah, I mean, I'm looking at these teams, and both look very good. Again, it's the first division, so it's difficult to pick holes in something here.
No, they both get what they're doing. So.
But yeah, as I say, Lamb is one of those ones for me that Lamb being in Warriors team will be putting me off picking that team as my favourite to win this division. But so far, I'm preferring Carlton Crew over the other three that I've looked at. So let's see another couple of teams.
We've got our defending champion, the Dublin Everett Blues, against the Leeds Lassos, who won this. He was in my division last year. So Danny starts off with Jackson, Henry, Stevenson, Hill, Pittman, DJ Moore, Dallas Goddard, Christian Watson, Folk, Wagner, and Al-Shahir. His main.
Al-Shahir is one that I'll put into my team as well. I see absolutely nothing wrong with that starting lineup at all. So take me up for the other starting lineup as well, Johnny. Let me see both. So I have a problem with a couple. It's not I've got a problem with. I love the start of that. Richardson, Hall, A-Chain. A-Chain is one of those ones. He's going early enough, but I love him. I think he could be the best running back in the NFL if he wasn't so slight and if he can stay fit. My issue with him is staying fit. Yep. So that's a problem for me in the sense that if he doesn't stay fit, then you've got Harrison, who I think is a brilliant receiver, but I'm not so fully in this early, Samuel, Waddle, fine. The Muth has stung me far too many times. But Rashid Rice, he will be suspended. Something has to be said before the season kicks off on Rashid Rice. He has 8 felony charges currently hanging over his head, and the NFL cannot just let him play week 1 without saying something about it. So
Addison could be suspended too. So you might lose both of them.
Addison's definitely got a suspension coming because he's got a DUI, but his might be a bit later on. You can get away with a DUI and playing. Wilson and Louvu is a good defensive. That's sneaky good there as well because they are both big tacklers, and they were far enough down. Both were on my queue, but neither are in my team. And then you've got Lloyd there who picked up the injury, Bucky Irvin. That's a lot of rookie running backs here for me. You're going to have, one of them's going to need to kind of hit.
He's got a lot of running backs. He's got Hubbard, Ford. It's all running backs apart from Thomas and Samuel. So he's picked up a lot of running backs at the end here.
I'm loving the fact that there's no quarterback on the bench. So I'm loving the fact that there's no defender on the bench because you can pick them up in agency that are scoring well. Deshaun Watson, picking Deshaun Watson for me this season. I mean, last year he just looked so disinterested. It's like he didn't want to be there. He didn't want to be playing. He is there for the money. He has to be better. If he doesn't start well this year, then he's a bust. He has to be a bust. He's done. I personally think he's a bust. I think he's done. I think he's finished.
I just picked up Jameis Winston. I just picked up Jameis Winston in the last round of a best ball with Thomas Strachan. Because obviously he's
I don't blame you. I don't blame you because I can see him coming in. My issue there is it going to be Winston? Is it going to be Huntley? Because Huntley's not terrible. I mean, he done well at Baltimore when Jackson was out.
I know. I wanted Joe Flacco, but I got sniped before it. So. Yeah.
Marvin Mims as well. Mims, what a name that was last year, wasn't it? And everybody's team.
Well, he was good for about 3 weeks.
0 points. It wasn't even like 1 point, 2 point. It was all zeros. Did he not even go minus a couple of weeks?
He had 3 minuses, I think, last year, but then he had 3 games of getting 20 points when he scored like massive touchdowns. And for the rest, it was usually one or 2. But yeah, it's a different system. You might get more of the ball. So
your boy Myers in there as well. You still, but Are you big on him this year again, Johnny Myers? As I know he was one of your favourites.
No, really. Hi, Everett. How's it going?
Hey, there's Everett.
Sorry for my tardiness.
Oh, that's no bother. Craig was late too. You're okay.
I was about to say good evening, Everett, but it's afternoon at where you are, isn't it?
Well, it's evening now. It's evening now. It'll pass for evening.
We're still in the first division,
Martin. We're just running through the first division in the East, Everett. That's where we're at. So we're taking a wee look at these teams just through the team, so as we can see them lined up properly, So
yeah.
Pop Douglas, I was so big on him last year, and he done quite well for me last year. But he's not getting mentioned at all this year. He's going nowhere. I like Pop Douglas. I just don't know why there's not kind of more.
He's under the radar again. He's under the radar again.
He was injured for a couple of weeks as well, though. Was he not? So.
I mean, yeah, he's had a couple of injuries, but I think he's fit now and he's flying under the radar. So I like that pick. I think that's a great pick. I think run me up to the top again, Johnny, to see who these teams are again.
Hey, Brian Thomas Jr. is he's going to be one to keep an eye out on the Jaguars.
Yeah.
Do you like him? Do you, Everett? Is he on your radar? Is he?
If I can get him, but he's already taken by everyone. Somebody already snagged him in like every league I'm in.
Going earlier than you're willing to pull the trigger on him. That happens a lot, doesn't it? I mean, he's one of those ones I honestly don't know that much about him either. And because for some reason I just don't pay much attention to the Jaguars and what they're doing. I don't know why, but
boring.
I see regression for them this year, and that's my problem with them in the sense that I'm not a fan of anybody on that offense this year. But yeah, I like Dublin Everton Blues here because I think they're the bench. I love what's on the bench, and I just think Leeds Lascaux went a bit haywire with the rookie running backs there on the bench, and get the feeling none of none of them strike. Then you've wasted a lot of bench spots, and you've got a couple of guys in there who are going to be suspended this year, and Rice and Addison. So you do need, when you've got these guys, you need the bench. But there, Brian Thomas will come in for one of them.
I think Rice and Addison might get lucky because Addison they haven't had a court date, and it might not be till after the season. And they say Rashee Rice will be ready by season opener, so I think they're pushing his court date back too. So like we said,
put back to
I think it'd be like
November for Rashee Rice.
Yes. So you're looking at it'll be next year before he's if anything happens.
No chance. I can't see that, Everett. And here's why. Rashee Rice has 8 felony charges hanging over his head. He was racing and smashed his car. There people got injured, people got hurt in that. And the NFL, the way the NFL is, they cannot have him running out there week 1 saying nothing, that like everything's fine. Let's not forget that that's not the only thing he done. He was also done for assaulting someone in a nightclub. And I know that one went away because the guy never pressed charges and stuff, but it's still
that one got dropped.
But the NFL can still punish him for it. And he's got 8 felony charges. He cannot run out there week 1 and the NFL say nothing. So something has to be said before week 1 on Rashee Rice. It just has to be. And I cannot see him not being suspended this year. Addison, I agree, it could be pushed into next year. It's only a DUI. They all get DUIs at some point or another. So I can see that one being pushed, but Rice will miss time this year. I just can't see how he doesn't. He has to, because I think before the season starts, Kansas City Chiefs are going to make him plead guilty and take his punishment and move on, because they'll want to move on from it. But we'll see. I mean, if Rice and Addison play the whole season, then that's a cracking team. I just don't think they will.
Definitely.
So I'm still on Carlton Cruz, my favourite at the moment.
Did you look at the sheet I sent you, Everett? You've got a probably better view. We've only gone through 6 teams so far, so we're on to Manchester Bees and the Leicester Tigers.
Yeah, I studied the sheet all night and I looked at it this morning. So I think I got my picks. I got my picks ready. Some of these teams
won't miss time this year. It won't be. How can it be next year? He's got 8 felony charges hanging over him. The NFL don't like that. It will be this year. He will be suspended this year. And his court case is due to be held in October. If his court case in October, that's a problem for the Kansas City Chiefs. Because they're playing in October. So they're going to want that sorted out beforehand. I think they're going to force him to plead guilty before then. So
I wouldn't be surprised if the court case gets pushed back till after the season.
That's what I was saying. Yeah, it might get pushed back.
They're quite good at doing that in America, especially when it comes to
especially when it comes to athletes and celebrities.
In fairness, they're pretty good at doing that in the UK as well. But yeah. So obviously, what are you thinking of this one?
But let's see. So we've got Manchester Bees and Leicester Tigers here. Lawrence, so let's not forget that Deshaun Watson gets suspended long before anything went to court. Let's not forget that. So we're neighbours. Neighbours is so. Do you know what? I've actually picked Neighbours up somewhere. I can't remember where it was now, but I actually did pick them up because I'm just everything that's been said has been nothing but good things being said, and there's nobody else really there. Johnny, is there?
No, I mean Wandale Robinson.
Oh, Slayton's still there. He does seem to like Jones like throwing to Slayton. I don't know. Obviously, I do quite like the look of Theo Johnson at the tight end, but yeah, there's not.
I like
it'll be good for the odds. High, it'll be good for best ball, but not really good for a redraft because you'll have good games.
The one on the right here's got Hollywood, so there's problem number one. Hollywood's out.
Yeah,
he's also
6 weeks.
Kendra Miller in his starting lineup.
Yeah, that's a problem too. Yeah, let's see what's on the bench though, because the bench might be a bit better. You know,
well, sometimes people haven't said they haven't set. He hasn't set his lineups yet. Apparently,
no, he's got Jonathan Taylor on the bench. He's got 3 quarterbacks
and Kyler Murray on the bench
and Levis.
Who's the quarterback? Who's the starting quarterback, Johnny?
That's the one with Mahomes.
Oh, wow!
He's got Mahomes, Murray, and Levis.
Mahomes and Murray. You've got Patrick Mahomes and you've got Kyler Murray, 2 of the best quarterbacks in the game. Where is I don't get the thought process of I better pick up Will Levis. I don't get that thought process. I just don't understand why Will Levis is there. But
well, you think he's got
complete waste of a bench spot.
You got Hollywood Brown will be out, and then you've got Josh
Hollywood
Downs will be out as well.
Yeah.
Josh Downs got to be missing.
Josh Downs is out right now.
Yeah, so
you know, wide receivers.
That's what.
He's got Evans in the flex, Cooper in the flex. He's okay. So, but yeah, it's
a
sore one to lose at start.
There's receivers there, but Hollywood's out, and there's 3 quarterbacks. Kendrick Miller's. I mean, he's just going to be he's a bust, isn't he? Is he even going to see the field? He's that bad. I mean, the chat coming out of New Orleans is that he's an absolute bust. Anyway,
yeah, but Port likes him.
I like Jaden Daniels on the bench. That is a good quarterback to have on your bench because he's one that you could throw in there at the back end. You know, he's going to be using his legs a lot, and he could be a championship winner for you. You know, who's the quarterback? Who's the starting quarterback? Johnny, sorry, take me up there.
Trevor Lawrence.
You know how much I hate Diggs. Yeah, I'm not a fan of Lawrence either. I think Daniels will be in long before. I mean, Lawrence will do fine. Lawrence will be fine. And then you've got Rashad Johnson, who I think will get plenty of touches because I couldn't be colder on Swift. Most of that will get his touches. Brown. Franklin could be anything, you know. Mooney
Mooney's going to be a sleeper pick because Rondell Moore is out for the season
in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Well, I do have him in many places, so hopefully.
I've picked him up in a few as well. I think Mooney's going to have a fine year this year, you know, because London will be getting double teamed all the time as well. And Kirk Cousins is more than capable of getting the ball out there. And he does, you know, I know that he had Jefferson in Minnesota, but, you know, Jefferson got all those touches, but there was still a little bit of meat on the bone for Adam Thielen when for Thielen. There was a bit of meat on the bone for Diggs when he was there. There was a bit of meat on the bone for Addison last year, you know. So he does get the ball about, Cousins. So I think Mooney will do fine this year. And I think he'll have a better year than he's had in Chicago, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So yeah, I like I like the team on the left-hand side here. I really do. I like Manchester Bees. It's very close to being I would pick Manchester Bees over the Carlton Crew if it wasn't for the fact that Lawrence is. I'm just not the biggest Lawrence fan. Zamir White, he should be getting the touches, but how good is he? So yeah, I like Manchester Bees, but I'm still on Carlton Crew here.
And we're down to the EK Colts and Seattle Patriots. So you got Stroud, Pacheco, Harris, Wilson, Smith, Reed, Kittle, A.D. Mitchell, Quentin Johnston, Dicker, Olukon, Okereke, then bench got Purdy,
I was going to say there's
Williams, Chubb. What are you going to say?
Well, I love the Chubb pickup because that's another one that could be a potential championship winner if you can keep yourself in it until he gets fit. Then he's coming straight in. Stroud, I've seen nothing but regression for him this year. That's not to say that he's not going to have a massive fantasy year. I think he will have a massive fantasy year. I just don't think he'll be as good as last year. Pacheco, Harris, love it. Wilson, Smith, two cracking receivers. Who else is Reed? Love that as well. I was absolutely loving that team until we got down to the last couple of spots on the starting, and then Quentin Johnston. I mean, it's just one of those ones, isn't it?
He can't even catch a cold, right?
He might make me look foolish this year, but he looked awful last. And I mean, he did not even look like. He looked like he was trying to play basketball on an NFL field for me. He just was not an NFL player at all. So I am very, very cold on Quentin Johnston, I've got to say. He might make me look foolish, but I'm very, very cold on him.
And the Patriots have got
that's what's
nice receivers for.
Yep, so we've got Tua, Barkley, Etienne, St. Brown, Pickens, Higgins. I love St. Brown, Pickens. That's a nice pair. Higgins, he'll do fine this year, but again, I see a little bit of regression for him, maybe just because of the contract situation and stuff. Pitt's absolutely fine. Will do absolutely fine. I like Montgomery. I'm not getting him because I'm not picking him up where he's going. I like others around him, but I think he'll do just fine. And if Gibbs gets hurt, then he's a bell cow. And if Gibbs doesn't get hurt, he's still going to get his touches.
Oh yeah.
Got Lad McConkey,
and then you've got Lad McConaughey there, who is he's coming in as a rookie into a position where he's potentially the number one receiver, much like Keon Coleman. I think that it's just got volume in itself will get him points,
Mm-hmm. Well, he's got Coleman as well on the bench.
There you go, Coleman's sitting there as well. Yeah, so that's
nice.
I like the rookies on the bench. They've got EK Colts have gone for Wilson and Pearsall, two rookie wide receivers as their bench.
Two rookie wide receivers. Again, you're needing, and then you've got Snow up there as well. So Corum will be fine if Williams gets hurt, but if Kieran Williams is playing, I don't know how much Corum's going to get, but I'm picking him up when I've got Williams. I'm trying to pick him up later on as a cover. That is one handcuff that I want. If I get Kieran Williams, I want Blake Corum.
Another one's got Coleman, I think Wright, Baker, all rookies.
He's going to need one of those wide receivers to land, I think. One of those wide receiver or not, one of those rookie ones to land. One of those are going to really need to land. Gibbs is not.
Strain hamstring.
Yeah, exactly. It's that is a hurt, which really means we don't want to play him in the preseason. So we'll give him a wee ouchie, but he'll be raring to go week one. There's not going to be any. I don't think there's any problem there.
You better fucking know me. He's my keeper in the show with the money.
The thing is, for me, on the bench, you have to have players on the bench who you are happy to plug in any given week, and that's the strength on the bench makes such a difference. So we're going to need. So the team on the left here, who I can't remember who it is now, is the EK Colts. They are going to need one of these. You've got Corum there, you've got Wilson, you've got Pearsall, you've got Sinot. Some of them are going to need to hit because they will be in the starting lineup at some point along the way. Jamal Williams, he's going to. I guess he's going to get his touches because the rookie boy's so bad. But yeah, not for me. I think he's done now. I think he's finished. It was poor last year, and I don't see him being any better this year. I have to say. And Purdy's just is a fine quarterback. You know, the thing is, I don't have a problem with people having one quarterback on their bench. I know that I don't do it, and it's not my way because I think that you can get them in the agency. But at least with Purdy, you know that you're going to get your kind of 15, 20 points. You know, if you're going to agency and having to take a swing with a Derek Carr or a Bryce Young, you know, you're risking that they do nothing because they can do nothing in games. Where do you guys stand on Wright, the running back at Miami?
Well, I've got him in quite a few places. Well, I've actually drafted him, so you know how I feel about him. So.
For me,
yeah, no, I like him because I think he will get a chance because none of them can stay healthy, and they do like to run. And he's a fast runner too. So
for me, it's all about health for him getting that, and you know, Mostert is, you know, has struggled with injury in the past, and A-Chain's just so lightweight that he's bound to pick up something along the way, isn't he? But I love A-Chain.
I know it's pre-season, but he was running hard and running well at the weekend there. So
yeah, he was. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, right, but he's another wee speed freak, isn't he? He's another one of those, like A-Chain, like Hill. I mean, they could be putting together a 4x400 relay team that could maybe challenge at the Olympics in Miami, you know.
Is it Malik Washington? He was getting an everything at the weekend.
Yeah.
Running the ball, catching the ball, kick return, punt return. Like, bloody hell. Yeah, you finish it.
The team on the right here as well. You've got Coleman, you've got Baker, you've got the who's the other rookie that he's got in his starting lineup?
He's got on
Lad McConaughey. So again, right, you know, some of these guys are going to need to hit. I don't hate either of these teams. I think they've both done well. I can pick a hole in. You know, I don't like Quentin Johnson. I don't like one or two. But I don't think there's any disasters here. I think these two teams are sitting pretty decent.
You've got to think there's a good chance that Lad McConaughey will be the number one.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you've got to think they've got number one there, Higgins number two, Pickens 1, Brown 1. Reed could be 1, 2, 3, or 4. Smith's number 2, Wilson 1, potential. Mitchell 2, possibly 3, depending on downs. Quentin Johnson, he'll be the water boy.
You know, they say that. Do you know what my problem with Quentin Johnson as well is? When Harbaugh was, I don't even think it was Harbaugh. I think it was the offensive coordinator or something, and they said they have plans to get Quentin Johnson involved. And the way he was making out, it's like, well, surely it wasn't. We're going to throw him the ball. It's we've got plans to get him involved. That doesn't tell me that you're planning to put him in, you know, as a starting receiver. That tells me that you're thinking, you know,
special teams,
kickoff and stuff like that. You know, special teams. The new kickoff, which I actually didn't. I've not seen the new kickoff yet. I watched a bit of the Raiders Vikings game, but I missed the start, so I missed the kickoff. So I don't know how that's going to work yet, and that'll be very interesting. Players do get points for special teams, don't they, Johnny? So if
they get points for scoring a touchdown. I don't think they get points per yard. So I've got a point if they score a touchdown. I've not done the yard.
Score, yeah, just for scoring. Yeah, I thought that.
But like there was one, the Jet. No, it was who was it? The Jaguars nearly got all the way back. They got back up to the 25 return. That was a good return. The few, but if you do the points per yard, then the kick return is very, very good because you have to kick it inside the 20 to the 10, and you can take a kneel and go to the 30. It's really confusing. But a lot of them will.
If it goes to the end zone, if it goes to the end zone, you go to the 40, won't you?
No, the 30. I think if you bounce before the 20 or you bounce out of bounds, it goes to the 40. But if it bounces in the 20, you have to go for it. You can't think me.
Yeah,
there's that many. I can't understand it. But yeah, it should be good.
Looking forward to seeing how it works. But yeah, no issue with either of these teams, but neither of them are my favourite either. So let's see the last one here, Johnny.
It's Jack here. Oh, Jack's got an empty team. Very good here, Jack. he likes to do that to fuck about, like. But yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll go with Alaskan Deep Freeze first, because obviously he's got a team there. You've got Jordan
So
Love,
Alaskan
Bijan
Deep
Robinson,
Freeze.
Aaron Jones, Chris Olave, Brandon Ayuk, Nico Collins, Dalton Schultz, your pal Swift, Gus the Boss, Young Wuku, Aiden Hutchison, and Josh Hines Allen. When did he change to Hines Allen? I thought it was just Josh Allen.
It was. He changed his. I think he changed his. He added the Hines part. I can't even remember. I don't even know
Josh
why.
Allen
There was
was
a reason behind it.
Josh Allen.
I even read the reason behind it, but I can't remember it now. So yeah, I mean that starting lineup again. It was coming down, and I was loving it. I was loving it. And then you got to just take me back up again, Johnny, a little bit. Sorry.
Swift and Edwards.
Yeah, well, Swift and Edwards, yeah, but go up a wee bit further. I think there was one there. And Ayuk, Ayuk's just, I don't know where he's going to be playing. If he does move, if he does go to Pittsburgh, he's got a whole new offense to learn. It's the middle of August. He's going to start the season with a brand new offense that he doesn't know, with a playbook that he doesn't overly know. And do you know that way? I'm not as big a fan of Brandon Ayuk as everybody else seems to be. What has he really done that's been outstandingly brilliant that no other receiver could do type thing, And
well, he picked him up in the third round in the 305.
He's not for me. He is absolutely not for me this year, Brandon Ayuk, I've got to say. And wherever he ends up, is he going to end up in Pittsburgh? That's kind of looking like it's going to happen again, isn't it? I thought he was going to be stuck in San Francisco, but
it looks like Pittsburgh put the package together, I guess. They're just waiting for Ayuk to.
But I thought they wanted a receiver back. Who are they going to get on the way back?
If they send Pickens, I'm going to be gutted because I'm so big on Pickens. But if he goes to San Francisco, I will not be. And again, the reason will be that he'll be going into San Francisco and a new team and a new playbook, everything new. At this point in the season, it's a lot to learn very early. And the 49ers are that's a kind of situational spot for me where they play to the system, not the player. So Pickens going there would worry me for George Pickens. Oh, look, Jackson's on doing it as we speak. No, that doesn't count, pal. We're not talking about your team because your team wasn't there, so beat it. I love Olave. I'm out on Jones this year.
That'll be Everett.
So I'm not big on Jones at all this year, and the reason I'm not big on Jones this year is because he has been in the one team all his career. He's now getting on and he's changed his teams for the first time in his career. He's 30 years old now. That's only regression time anyway. He regressed a little bit last year. And, these running backs, when they go to a new team, they've spent so long at one and then they go to a new one. And it's my worry for Josh Jacobs and it's my worry for Derrick Henry to a certain extent. They tend to just, the team's letting them go for a reason, If Aaron Jones was still the Aaron Jones of 3 years ago, Green Bay would not be letting him go. So that puts me off there. So the team on the right here, it's fine, it's decent, but I'm for Jones, for Ayuk, for the Swift and the Swift and Gus Edwards that are in the starting lineup, unless the bench is really, really strong. That's not my favourite team.
Goff, Braylon Allen, Tyron Tracy, Tyler Algier, Wilson, Xavier Leggett, Wendell Robinson, Luke Musgrave.
So that'll be a big no then. I mean, don't get me wrong. Musgrave
it's an okay bench, but it's not great.
Time. But Leggett is going to be situational, isn't it? Wendell Robinson is going to be situational. I actually like Michael Wilson this year. I do think he'll be the number 2 there. And I think he'll get plenty enough touches because Murray does spread that around as well and throws the ball a lot. And I think Wilson will get plenty enough. So it's not my favourite team. I love Olave. I do love Olave. Again, it's his situation and car thrown to him, and it worries me for this year. I have to say
he's covering a lot of the bench because he's got Bijan Robinson and he's also got Tyler Algier.
Yeah, well, that's just that.
If Bijan goes down, he's got the backup. So.
Yeah,
well, let's have a look
exactly.
at Jack's team.
Right, let's see. So he's got Burrow, fine. McCaffrey, of course, he's picking first, so he's got McCaffrey. Tajay Spears in the starting lineup's a bit worrying.
Adams,
your
pal Godwin.
Cup, I love this. Godwin, you know what I think of him.
Yeah, your pal. Mark Andrews, DK
Andrews, Metcalf, Dubs. All
got
fine.
His customary Packers player. No kicker.
Of course.
Raquan Smith and Terrell Bernard. Yeah, running back.
Then what's on the bench more at the point?
Trey Benson.
So Benson, I'm really not big on this year. I guess if Connor goes down, Benson is going to come in, isn't he? But again, I'm hearing nothing coming out of Arizona about Benson. I mean, he's listed below DeMarcado and Michael Carter on the depth chart. For a guy who has picked the second running back off the board in the draft to be behind two guys like that worries me.
Yeah, but I think they're just they're making him earn it. You know how they do that with some rookies? You chuck them on the bottom and say, right, you've got to earn your spot.
I'm not convinced that's what's happening there. That's what you do with a first round quarterback from time to time, just to say, look, you're not there yet. That's not what you do for a running back that you picked in the back end of the second round. That's not what you. I don't think that's the case. I think he's genuinely fourth in the pecking order at the moment, and that would really worry me. And that's not Table moving up a lot, but.
Well, he's got Herbert, which is not bad. Back, he's got Pierce as well.
Yeah. Not a fan of Herbert at all. So, never have been. Chandler should do fine, get his touches. Pierce should do. I think Pierce will be fine this year. I really do. And he's added Jordan Mason in there as well, who is currently the number 2 in San Francisco. Well, in fact, he might be the number 1 in San Francisco right now because CMC's injured, isn't he?
I know, he must have picked him up pretty late. Oh, yeah, he got him with the last pick. That was Mr. Relevant was Jordan Mason. Obviously, he got that after the news of McCaffrey.
So I mean, I don't hate the.
No bother, Everett. You feed the kids, and the dog definitely wants.
And the dog, more to the point.
Yeah,
I don't hate Jackson's team. There are a lot of good things in it, but there's a lot of things that I'm not a fan of in it. So I'm not jumping up and down about it. I've got to say. And my favourite team in this league is Carlton Crew again. It has to for me. That's just been put together so well.
I think.
So I'm after Carlton Crew here, please, Johnny.
I'm trying to think who I'm going to go for.
As I say, just with Jackson's team, it's the whole a couple of guys that I'm just not a fan of, and it puts me off. Perfectly fine team.
I'll probably agree with you too. That actually, I do like Carlton Crew, and unlike Pez, you can go for the same team because you're picking who you think is going to win. But I do also like the Manchester Bees. But Carlton Crew.
What's your team in St. Magnus Division? What's your favourite here?
Leeds Lassos is probably my favourite team on that.
Leeds Lassos.
You like the Leeds Lassos one? There you go, Johnny. You taking notes?
Yeah, I'm typing it in now.
They're up against Dublin Everton Blues. Yeah, I did like that team as well. I've got to say that was one that I liked. I liked the look of a lot as well.
The thing, like I look at, I know your first 5 picks are going to be the people you want to score the most of your points because the way people draft, So I mean, I think he got good receivers, good running backs, and a quarterback, and then I forgot what his tight end was. Let me see.
He's got Dallas Goddard. Who are you talking about? Dublin Everton Blues?
No, Leeds Lassos.
Who are you talking about? Leeds Lassos. He's got. He's only got one tight end, the Muth.
And then he can just stream one on the bye week.
Yeah.
This is Division 1. This is the top. What was it? The top 3 in each. In each division in the East last year. So. These guys were the top teams from last year, so you expect them all to be kind of there. For me, there's no one that's got 3 quarterbacks. There's no one that's got 6 defenders. There's no one that's done anything really stupid here at all.
That's just, in the later divisions.
And at that point, it's all about opinion on what players you like and what players you don't. And of course, I've got players that I like and players that I don't like, and my opinion is going to be completely different from others. So. I think this division will be very, very tight.
Yeah, it's going to be a very close one. Because Graham's good as well. They're all good. That's why they're in the top division. But
I wouldn't like to try and pick the bottom team of this division. You know, who'll finish last. I wouldn't like to try and do that because I think all of these teams. There's no one that jumps out at me as that was stupid. We're going to come across a team that has 4 quarterbacks in it, you know. So I think it's safe to say that I'm not going to pick that as my favourite team in that division. But
I think, as Jack said,
anyway.
this is probably one of the hardest leagues he drafted in. Someone in the chat.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure because it's the teams all do look decent here, and again, a lot of them come into injuries and stuff like that as well. Obviously, you know. Yeah, there you go. It's not. It's a top. You're drafting against the league winners and the top teams from last year, though. You know, so it's going to be a difficult one to pick. You know.
But you are in the top division, so you have the chance of a scar break. So,
right, Johnny, let's move on to the next one.
Yeah, so that'll be Yesnabit, my division.
Let's finish.
You want to see the
finish. Yeah, I just need to see the teams in that lay out properly, you know, because seeing them like that, and then you've got the trades as well. You just can't see through the trades and stuff, you know.
Well, there's a few.
So is this yours then, Johnny?
Yeah, this is my one. This is why it's showed up like this, because it's my one. So
right. So what have we got? So talk us through your team, Johnny. What was your process? Where's your process? What do you like about your team? What are you not so? What do you regret? Have you got any regrets? Have you got any that, you know, if you could go back, you wouldn't pick him up type thing? Or are you happy with it?
I'm pretty happy with my team, to be honest. There's not, obviously, I ended up with Schultz, so I got a couple of tight ends were on my queue before that, and they got sniped because obviously I'm on the turn. But Schultz will get his target, so I'm happy enough.
Oh, there you go.
I wanted Amon Ra, but I think Luke picked him before me on the 106 when he traded up for that. So I couldn't resist Hall, because I do, you know how much I like Breece Hall as well. So start McCaffrey and Hall, happy enough. Get a Cooper Cup. I probably could have got Stroud a bit later, but I wanted to make sure I got a decent quarterback. You know, I do have a soft spot for Jaden Reed, so I'm always going to pick him. Cortland Sutton,
absolutely.
the number one. Samuel could be the number one, but he always gets his points. Chuba Hubbard will probably be the number one back to start with. You've got to have a good kicker. Got 2 good linebackers. Picking up Stafford as a backup, and you might get games more off. If Stroud struggles, Stafford will be in. He does score the fantasy points. Jalen Wright will win if one of the running backs get injured. I did pick up Mitchell with the last pick, but that's before he pulled his hammy. Tyler Algieri will get his touches as well, and obviously picked up Wilson when that was my second one from the trade with Luke. Tyler Boyd, I do like Tyler Boyd. Theo Johnson and Conklin as my last backup tight ends. So I was quite happy with my team.
Listen, I've got to say, Johnny, as a Johnny draft, that's a pretty decent one, I've got to say. I mean, I'm not a Conklin fan, and I'm not a Hubbard fan. I'm not a Chuba Hubbard fan at all. But as a Johnny draft, I'm quite impressed, Johnny.
Oh, thanks very much. I'll take that compliment.
You're welcome.
That was sneaky good to get. Cup was a really good pick from where you got him at.
I know, I was quite surprised you lasted that far, to be honest, but yeah.
Yeah, you got Cup late, and then people started taking them earlier off the board. I think you might have got Cup later than any other division in the OrkneyBowl. I think you probably got Cup the latest, because I think you got him in fifth.
I got on 501, same as Jack got him.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, so what have we got on the other side there? Buccaneers.
I got it because of a trade.
I tell you.
Yeah, I got it because of a trade, Jack. So, yeah, Buccaneers, you've got Josh Allen, Josh Jacobs, Pacheco, DJ Moore, Amari Cooper, Jordan Addison, Cole Kmet.
Yeah, that's without a second or third round as well. You gave away your second and your third, didn't you?
Yeah. I got a first and a 18th round, I think it was, for just giving away the second and third. So I got Wilson and I got Hall. And you'll see soon
what's the Buccaneers doing here? So Jamal Williams, where are we with Jamal Williams? I mean, he's one of those. He should.
Well,
Jamal Williams could
Williams.
be anything. Javonte Williams, sorry. He could be anything from an absolute bell cow, 20 touches a game, to not even making the team.
Well, you know?
Oh, it's been confirmed that he's the RB1. They already confirmed that.
He's the RB1, but yeah, they will try and get him to run it, but whether he hits the holes.
That's what they say. That's what, but you know, you can say anything at this stage, really. And you know, if he's not what he is, they have other guys there. They've got McLaughlin there. They've got Estime, the rookie, who could be okay. So you know, he'll not get long if he isn't the man. If he isn't doing well, he's not going to get long. And Kendra Miller is not a replacement for him.
No, I think that's
see, I worry about the lack of running backs on Buccaneers' team.
Yeah, he's only got 3, is he? Yeah.
I'm very much worried about the lack of running backs. Take us up to the top of that one again, Johnny. Sorry, just to see what's...
Got Jacobs and Pacheco, and obviously you're already worried a bit about Jacobs. Yes, Jack, it was a nice trade. Well, I hope it was a nice trade. So.
I do think Jacobs will do fine, but I think Jacobs will be very good for us. I do, but it does just worry me that he's getting on a little bit. It's a new team with a new offense, a new playbook. And he's, you know, for the first time in his career. So that's what worries me about Jacobs. It doesn't mean say that I don't want to pick him up. I actually traded him today, didn't I, Johnny?
You did, yes. Well, I needed to run it back. I think I'm pretty sure that I have like Gibbs, Hall, and Pirine as my running back. So, and you had to start 3, so I needed to running back. So.
I know, I know you did that. For it. And I had running back, so I wanted the first round pick. So yeah, that's I think a very fair trade. It worked out for both of us. But that's a different league. So I you know, obviously Josh Allen at quarterback, DJ Moore, Amari Cooper, and Jordan Addison, provided Addison isn't suspended. I think it's a good start. But I'm very much worried about the running back situation there. So I definitely think Williams got better of these two teams, Johnny.
Hopefully. So we'll look at the rest of them.
Williams, he got Brooks too, right?
What? No, he's got the linebacker Brooks.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's linebacker Brooks, yeah.
I just saw Jay Brooks. I was like, hold
Even at that, even if Brooks was in there, there's still no other running backs, so that's a problem, you know. But he's out for ages. So here we've got Fraser and Bankfoot Panthers and the Warner Bay Goonies.
Yeah.
So where are we at here? So what's Fraser
we'll
done?
look through Fraser first then. So we've got Mahomes, Williams, Montgomery, Ayuk, Metcalf, Higgins, Okonkwo, Ridley, Queen, and Al-Shire. For the starting for Warner Bay, you've got Goff, White, Walker, Jefferson, Olave, Flowers, Bowers, Worthy, Pollard, Carlson, Jones, and Wagner. I'm going to catch
you get down to that.
Oh, Caleb Williams on the bench. That's nice. I like the quarterback situation they got going on there.
So he's got Goff and Williams.
Goff and Williams. Yeah, no problem with that.
This is where Fraser got Mahomes in the first round as an auto pick. That's how Mahomes went too early.
Was it an auto? I don't even think it was an auto pick. I think Doug said it wasn't an auto pick that Fraser took him.
It was an auto pick because I look after the league.
Oh, was it? Right.
And it went 12 hours. It was an auto pick. I think I don't know what happened, but he never picked. He ran out of time and it picked. So unless you picked 11:59, but pretty sure it said auto when I picked it.
I mean, with Mahomes, I don't see the point in firing Geno Smith. You know, I guess Mahomes could get hurt and then you've got to do it. But, you know, if you've got one of the proper elites, I don't see the point in having one on the bench. I really don't. I mean, Ford is going to be the starting running back there. So I don't hate Ford there and I don't hate Moss there either. You know, Moss is going to be starting running back. Whether he holds it or not is down to how well he plays, but it's down to him. Right. It's on him. Ford will lose his spot, obviously, when Chubb comes back, but he's still going to be thereabouts. Is that Lockett underneath Ford?
Yeah, Lockett, Hunter Henry, Noah Fant, and Isaiah Likely. So he's got the 3 tight ends to finish as well.
Yeah, 3 pretty shitty tight ends, aren't they? in the sense of what are they going to get a lot of points? Are they going to get a lot of fantasy points? Hunter Henry has flat out to deceive so often over the years, and yes, he had, and then he turns around and has a 20-point week, a 30-point week.
I take it back. He did actually sneak in Mahomes. He sneaked in Mahomes before the auto. So I just double checked it.
Did he? Yeah, I thought he'd picked
I don't know why I doubted Doug. Doug, he's a resident man. Oh, yes. Zach's off the bed. Thank you. Is it 3 days after the Super Bowl?
Oh, congratulations, Jackson! It's another boy, is it? Another one to teach how to throw and catch.
Yes, it's 3 days after the Super Bowl they're due, I think. So you'll be hoping they're on time and no early.
He'll very much want to be on time, won't he? There's Quentin Johnson flagging up in a team. Pat Fryermuth flagging up in a team. I know that Fryermuth should do okay and he'll be fine and all that, but he has burned me so often that I couldn't be colder on him. I do like.
I remember you saying that the other day.
Yeah. With Pop Douglas as well, I love Pop Douglas, and I think he'll do just fine this year. I think he will score his points this year. But when I look at that team, I'm looking at Gibson, I'm looking at Baker, and I'm looking at Douglas. That's a lot of New England Patriots for a team that's going to be rotten. So and then when you've got Quentin Johnson thrown in there as well, I absolutely hate that bench.
I like the Gibson pick though, because they're going to be running the ball. So Ramondre Stevenson and Antonio Gibson will get their touches. So having the running backs with the quarterback situation helps out.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree, Everett, and I think that Gibson will score okay points, but I wouldn't want him in the same team as Pop Douglas and Baker.
Oh no, not at all, not at all.
Patriots.
Yeah.
So yeah, that puts me off there just a little bit. I do like the starting lineup there, but I much prefer the Fraser's team there, I have to say, in the sense that he's got a better spread right up until you get down to those tight ends on his bench, which I didn't like. So Glossop Fighting Gophers and Harlow Harlequins, Johnny, run us through them.
So we've got Glossop Fighting Gophers, we've got Jordan Love, Jonathan Brooks, Tajay Spears, Puka Nacua, Garrett Wilson, Stephon Diggs, Dalton Kincaid, Malik Neighbours, Rashee Rice, Tyler Bass, Tremaine Edwards, and David. Can't remember his first name. And then on Harlow Harlequins, you've got Jalen Hurts, Jonathan Taylor, Cook, AJ Brown, Tank Dell, Roman Aduce, George Kittle, Lad McConkey, Ryan Thomas, a lot of rookies, Kyle Fairbairn, or Cammy Fairbairn, Nick Bolton, and Jack Campbell,
I think.
Starters, so that's all starters. Whereas the team on the left here, that scared me from the get.
The running backs, right? The running backs scared me on that side.
Well, they might not
be Brooks and Spears. I couldn't. And Brooks is out for what, 4 to 6 weeks? Like he's gonna miss 4 to 6 games at least.
He might have somebody on the bench.
So who have we got on the bench? Is the question.
He's got Irvin, Dobbins, and Chandler.
Dobbins will be sneaky good.
Can play. At least you've got 2 running backs that you can plug in there. Week 1, you can plug in Dobbins until he gets hurt, which will be week 2. But Chandler as well.
Halfway through week 1.
Yeah, Dobbins you can plug in week 1. I don't know what you're going to do week 2, but you can plug Dobbins in week 1, and Chandler will get touches and score points.
Well, he's got the option now with the new system that he can put in Dobbins, put Chandler as his backup just in case. If Dobbins gets injured before the game starts, Chandler will get put in right away.
What to say? I'm not loving any team that I've seen here. Apart, I'm like yours is still my favourite so far this division, Johnny. You'll be upset to hear.
I am a bit, yeah. But there's plenty more to see, though.
And it's not I'm poking holes in them per se, but I'm worried about the running back situation, the left-hand side here as well, and I'm worried about the bench situation, the right-hand side. I mean, I like Mooney, and I don't know anything about Parkinson, so maybe that's fine. But Robinson as well, Robinson and Parkinson for the Rams. It's a bit heavy on.
I guess there's another rookie.
I like Mitchell and Charbonnet. Those are 2 good picks there.
Is Davis
good bench picks for sure. The Charbonnet is going to need Walker to kind of relent some of the touches, though, isn't he? And that's my problem with Charbonnet. I don't dislike the pick, but I think Walker is the main man there, and it's not a kind of it's not a share as much as Walker's the number 1 and Charbonnet's the number 2. You know, I feel. Whereas, you know, like if you go to Clippers, you would say Dobbins and Gus Edwards are going to be a kind of timeshare. I do think in Seattle, Walker's the 1, Charbonnet's the 2.
So with Will Levis, like I have him in another league just because he's my second quarterback in Superflex. I hope he goes off. But in our league, you can almost guarantee you can get him off of waivers to cover a bye week.
You know what, Everett? You know what? Wasted slot. And then if you go up to see, and he's got
5 rookies in his team.
Tell me this: what situation are you going to have? What situation needs to happen? Needs to come up for you to play? And for you not to play Hurts and play, who was it that was there again? Who was
Will Levis.
Oh, Levis.
Will Levis. But what situation is going to come up other than a Hurts injury or a bye week? Are you going to play Will Levis over Hurts?
Well, I guess it'll be the bye week. Have they got quite an early bye week? They've got week 5 or something.
I don't know, but if Derek Carr is on waivers, I would play Carr before I play Levis.
Me too. And it's, I mean, and don't get me wrong, though, Levis might kick off because he's got a massive arm and he's got some, you know,
he got some receivers this year. He doesn't just have Hopkins. He has Tyler Boyd and Calvin Ridley. Yeah, and he got Ridley. Yeah, and he got Tony Pollard that he could dump it off to.
And Tajay Spears is fine for that as well. He done a lot of that last year when Henry was running the ball. So he's got no excuses this year, Will Levis. You know, this is the year that he's got to show that he deserves the starting slot. But what situation are you going to play him over Hurts? I mean, Philadelphia could be away to San Francisco, away to New York Jets, away to one of these real tough, real good defenses. And you're still going to start Hurts over Levis. And Levis could be playing, you know, I don't know, the Panthers. You're still going to start Hurts over Levis. You just are. So I don't see.
To make it even better, they're both got the same bye week.
Oh no!
Yeah. So
wow.
Oopsie. I want to play him week 5.
I love the running back room of Taylor and Cook, the running back starters and Taylor and Cook. I think that's a great start. And then you go into AJ Brown, Tank Dell, you know, it's very, very good. And then you get down to the bench.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, but I get that. I do get that, you know, that Goff, but I'm not being funny. But even if you've got Goff and Lamar Jackson in your team, you are not starting Goff over Lamar Jackson. You're just not. I don't care how tough the schedule that Lamar has. You're not going to start Jared Goff over Lamar Jackson because it would be silly to do so. Why would you be picking Lamar in the second or third round or whatever it is that you need to pick Lamar up and then not play him?
Then you risk leaving too many points on the bench if Lamar goes off and you got him on the bench.
You know? And it's I mean, I hope it goes well for you, Martin. I really do, but I'm not. I'm just, you know, if I've got Lamar Jackson in my team, he starts every week with his legs, unless he's injured. I don't care who my reserve is. You know, it's just not happening there. So here comes Sean. We've got Sean here in his Newcastle Colts and Rob in his Solihull Sharps. You want to run us through these ones, Johnny?
So I think this is where Sean traded away his first as well, but he got 2nd, 3rd, and 5th, I think, from Luke.
Oh, wow.
If I remember rightly. So we've got Aaron Rodgers, Saquon Barkley, Joe Mixon, Michael Pittman, Devontae Smith, Christian Kirk, Sam Laporta, Alvin Kamara, Aaron Jones, Jason Sanders, Alex Anzalone, Robert Spillane. That's the starters at the moment. And then you've got
lineup.
Solihull Sharks. We've got Lamar Jackson, Jameer Gibbs, Jalen Warren, Tyreek Hill, George Pickens, Deontay Johnson, Trey McBride, Evan Ingram, Devin Singletary, Jake Moody, Kyle Hamilton, and Luke Wilson. Testing my knowledge, getting all these bloody players' names right.
Now we've got two good start lineups, and that's without a first round for Sean there.
Yeah, well, I think he had, like I say, he had the 2 seconds and 2 thirds in the middle of the rounds. And
you can see that. You can see that because the strength is there in the starting lineup. You know that it's not got that pluggy in one at the last of the flexes. You know that you're not so sure of.
So you had the
That's solid as well.
204, 204, 208, 305, 309, 408, 505, and 509. So you had a good core of your team before the end of the 5th round. So you know what Sean's like, though. You do a trade with Sean, you check your back pocket.
Let's see what's on his bench, though, because this can often be Sean's downfall, you know. There'll be a lot of tight ends, I'm sure.
Taysom Hill, Austin Eckler, Rico Dowdle, Brian Robinson's a good one.
Is he a Commanders fan?
Joshua Palmer.
No, he's a Colts fan.
Christian Wilson and Raheed.
He got McLaurin, Robinson, and Eckler.
Yeah, that's a lot of Commanders there. It's a lot of Commanders. I guess you pick up Eckler and Robinson because you're not sure what's going to happen there. You can get rid of one in week 2 or 3 once you're kind of more comfortable with what the situation is, you know. The same with the right-hand side.
Pick up Gibson and Robinson
McLaughlin and Estime. You know, you kind of see what one's going to be the one and you chuck that one away and you keep it in.
And on the other side, you've got Baker Mayfield, Jaleel McLaughlin, Audric Estime, Ricky Pearsall, Dave Davis, Jameson Williams, Josh Downs, and CJ Mosley.
I'm a big Jameson Williams fan this year. I think this is going to be the year that he actually does something. I'm a way out on Gabe Davis. He might have a week or two where he goes off in one, but not for me. Ravens versus the Chiefs defense in week 1. Yeah, it's a tough game, but Lamar Jackson's still going to run for 70, 80 yards. He's still going to throw for 2 or 3 touchdowns. He's going to maybe run one in. Goff ain't going to do that.
They might actually run the ball instead of trying to pass it.
It's I mean, I get. Would I start Goff over Lamar? Not nearly, but I understand that the point of Lamar's got a real tough game week 1. Goff's in a dome, so. I wouldn't want to give myself the headache because the thing is, if you leave Lamar on your bench and Lamar scores 40 points, you look like an idiot. There's no getting away from it. If you leave Goff on your bench and he scores 40 points, well, you're playing Lamar, so you're supposed to,
So basically, Martin, if you leave him on the bench and Goff and you score 40 points on your bench, best not tune in on the Tuesday night because Craig will have a field day.
Yeah.
The thing is, I mean, if Goff scores 40 points and Lamar scores 10, you look like a hero. But for me, you've got very, very lucky because that shouldn't be happening, And if that is happening often, then don't pick up Lamar in the 4th round. It's very early to be picking up a onesie slot, unless of course it's a super flex as well. Because if it's a super flex, then it's completely different. But then if it's a super flex, you're playing them both, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't like what Sean has done here with all of those Commanders. I've got to say, I love his first team, but I don't like all those Commanders on the bench.
Yeah.
And on the right-hand side here with Solihull Sharks, well, you've got Lamar there, Gibbs, love it. Warren, I'm not big on Warren at all. I'm a Najee man, but
that's what I was going to say. What if Warren's in that trade instead of a wide receiver? They're saying Warren because all the running backs are hurt in San Francisco right now.
Well, I mean, if they were to send Warren, then yeah, you can kiss bye-bye to your Mitchell shares and your Mason shares and your. I mean, the 2 rookies as well. The 2 rookies are going nowhere, and if you picked them up in dynasties, you're screwed if they send Warren over there.
Guarida or Guarida, whatever it is, yeah. But yes.
It's a good question, though, Everett. What if it is Warren?
Because you can't imagine they'll send Pickens, and who else are they going to send?
There's nobody else there. It would have to be Pickens, but there was chat, and the initial chat was it was going to be Pickens. It was going to be Pickens and 3rd or 4th or something like that when the Steelers first came up.
Oof.
But it's in him hard that Martin's going to go and play. Goff over Lamar. Please tell me you're playing me week 1, Martin. Please tell me you're playing me.
Well, that one we won't know until that is a complete random on that one.
But yeah, I'm sorry, Johnny. It's still your team here for me, and I thought that Sean usually drafts it really well, but I hate all those commanders, and I think all three commanders are fine, and I think all three will score their points from time to time. I just wouldn't want all three in my team.
No. So here we have the Yorkshire Finns against the Stoke-on Bengals. So we've got Luke's team against Moses' team. So Luke's team, you've got Trevor Lawrence, Derek Henry, Gus Edwards, Deebo Samuel, Marvin Harrison, Jalen Waddle, Travis Kelce, Hollywood Brown, always taking him out. Jake Ferguson, he's got no kicker on the start lineup. Reggie Lucon and Zaire Franklin. And then Stoke's got Alex Richardson, Travis Etienne, Ramondre Stevenson, Jamar Chase, Devontae Adams, Mike Evans, Dallas Goddard.
Oh, he took a page out of my book.
Yeah, but he got them a bit later, I think. Raheem Mostert, Harrison Butker, Derwin James, and Fred
Warner. That's a yeah. And Tua, oh man, Tua as a second quarterback.
I love Jaden Daniels as a second quarterback, I've got to say. He's got a lot of games in a this year for sure.
He does. I think he's got like 4 games outside, I think. So
Goff's a perfectly fine quarterback to play as your starter. I've got no problem you plugging in Goff as a starter. I have a problem with having him on the same team as Lamar Jackson, because what are you going, you're not going to play him. But I mean, Goff is a starting quarterback. There is no, he doesn't run, but other than that, he's very much a starting fantasy quarterback, and he will score a lot of points. Unfortunately, he's going to score a lot of points on your bench because you're going to start Lamar most weeks. Tua on the bench, I'm so cold on Tua, it's untrue. And I don't mean that as a pun. I don't mean a pun there, but he cannot play in the cold. So why would I be hot on him? I mean, Richardson there. I mean, Tua's. I guess if Richardson fails, and Richardson's an injury problem, so I get plugging in a decent.
But then so's Tua. To be honest, he's like they've got 2 China quarterbacks.
I do love Daniels on the bench because I think he'll get better and better as the season goes on, and there will become a time where Daniels will then be plugged into that starting lineup with Trevor Lawrence being dropped, and I see that happening.
Yeah, you've got Braylon Allen, Blake Corum, rookies. Bloody hell, he's got a rookie bench apart from Myers and Dotson. He's got Wilson. A lot of rookies.
Yeah, some of those rookies. See, that's the thing. Some of those rookies are going to be in the starting lineup at some point, So you're relying on them coming good, which is fine, they might. And Mike Gesicki. Where is he? Is he at the Bengals now?
Yeah, he's at the Bengals now.
Is it the Bengals he went to? Yeah. Adam Thielen. I just, I mean, he must be 105 years old or something like that. Adam Thielen. It's how is he still playing? How is he still playing in the NFL? He was colder than cold last year, and I do not see I see nothing else happening for him this year. For me, Adam Thielen's a dead duck, so I'm not a fan of him being. I wouldn't draft. I mean, literally, if I had the last pick of the draft and he was still there, I wouldn't pick him up. Then Hopkins is one of those ones. Hopkins is a fantastic wide receiver, but he's getting on now, and he's had these injury problems.
He can't shake those knee injuries. I think it's.
Yeah, exactly. That's a problem. Running's back up again, Johnny. Sorry to the starting bits. Here, a lot of rookies on the left and a lot of old guys on the right. Burton, as I say, I do quite like, but I like Burton. I like his situation. I think he's in a good situation. And then if he's even a half decent receiver, he should get his catches this year. So I do like
Burton. He had a good game at the weekend. I think he had like 96 yards and a touchdown at the weekend. So I know it's against Pez. You called them future lawyers or stuff like that. Was that you, Everett? Was it Pez?
Pez said that,
yeah. But yeah, no, but you still get catch to run it. So.
If it wasn't that the bench is so full of rookies, I would maybe be taking the team on the left here.
See, I try not to be biased like in this league because, of course, I will go with brother Johnny. But I had picked the Stoke-on Bengals for this league just so I wouldn't pick the obvious choice, Johnny.
That's just because he's got Chase Adams and Evans, like so.
I saw and look at the run. He got good running backs too, ETN, Stevenson.
It's a great starting lineup there.
So he must have saw my draft list.
He hacked you, Everett. He hacked you.
I know.
I like Michael Wilson as well, but yeah, no, I do. I like the Stockholm Bengals team. I'm a wee bit worried about the bench not being strong enough. So yeah, I mean, Johnny. Oh, we've got
still got one to go.
Goodness, I need to find one that's better than Johnny, so I can go for that one.
So we've got me too. The Godalming Goats against the Whitehall White Tigers. So we've got Kyler Murray, Devin Achane, James Conner, CeeDee Lamb, Drake London, Nico Collins, Keenan Allen, Devin Njoku, Justin Tucker, Devin Lloyd, Tremaine Edmonds. And then the Whitehall White Tigers, we've got Joe Burrow, Bijan Robinson, DeAndre Swift, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Keon Coleman, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Kyle Pitts, Samir White, T.J. Hawkinson, Dicker the Kicker, Trey Bernard, and Quincy Williams.
Right, well, running through this, I mean, I can run through this one quickly because I've already got holes in the starting lineups for me, in terms of picking a favourite team here. TJ Hawkinson, he's injured, and when he comes back, it's a bad injury he's coming back from. Is he going to be as good as he was before? I hope so, because I've got him in a couple of dynasties, but I'm not convinced. And on the other side, I think Keenan Allen is the one who's going to be the one who suffers the most from the fact that there's a lot of mouths to feed. I think Kmet will get his touches, Moore will definitely get his touches, and as the season goes on, Caleb Williams will be throwing more and more to Roma Doomsday. So I think Keenan Allen is the one that's going to lose out there. Not to say that I think Keenan Allen is a bad receiver or anything like that. I just think he's going to lose out to the amount of mouths that need to be fed there. And if you just run this up a wee bit more, Johnny, up the way, just so yep, that's us. I'm not a fan at all of Murray and Connor. Big fan of Murray and Harrison. Big fan of Murray and Wilson. Big fan of Murray and McBride. I'm not a fan of stacking a wide receiver, stacking a running back with a quarterback, because I just think that if the running back scoring points, the quarterback's not, and vice versa. And I know that they can dump it off and go, but Connor's not a kind of dump off and go type running back. He's a runner.
Right.
And on the right-hand side, the Swift, I'm so cold on Swift. I couldn't be more colder on Swift, I've got to say. It's not a fan at all.
I think last year showed Swift was good when he's healthy, but he hasn't been healthy most of his career. And he has two. He got Roshan Johnson and Khalil Herbert on that team, ready to take the start whenever he messes up.
Correct.
Oh yeah,
Correct.
the bench as well, obviously.
But let's not forget as well, he did get a lot of touches in Philadelphia, but he was playing in Philadelphia with that line in front of him, and he was still only getting, I think he was about 4 yards per carry at the most, was his average last year. So yeah, not unless these benches are massively brilliant, and I'm already seeing quarterback. So Lloyd's injured, Tracy could be anything, Elliott I quite like, Pierce, yeah, fine. Brown, yeah, I mean, there's some good options there in running back on the left, and I love Whips.
I like the receivers on the right. Leggett, Corley,
yeah, Corley, and Leggett. I mean, and Franklin, you're throwing your I mean, at least one of those rookie wide receivers are going to have to hit there, because they're going to need to be plugged in at some point. So yeah, neither one here either, Johnny. I'm afraid yours is my favourite for this league. So
he's got Justin Tucker and Brad. He's got the top two. Oh, this is what happened. He picked Justin Tucker, then I picked 2 players, and then he picked Brandon Aubrey. So he was picking from the 102, and he started a bit of a kicker run. So
two kickers in the team.
You picked up Justin Tucker, then you picked up Brandon Aubrey, the pick after, and the one like. So yeah. So are you going for me, Craig?
They're up 12.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, I'm going for you, Johnny. I think your team's the best here. I'm afraid that your team's the best drafted.
Even I'm not going for
a second and a third, so that's very impressive. As I say, I like what Sean's done as well with those middle round ones. I'm just not the biggest fan of having 3 commanders all in there, because it's the commanders.
Well, I've gone for Sean because I trust Sean to do some magic. And you've gone for Stockholm Bengals, Everett, have you?
Yes, yeah.
Cool.
I had to stay away from the. I had to stay away from the biased. Try to be, try not to be biased.
There's plenty of that this afternoon with you and Aaron getting picked. So yeah, the newly finished division. By the way, the fixtures I will fix up probably tomorrow. So these are not the actual fixtures that will be going ahead.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine. We're just looking at the teams, Johnny. We're just looking at the teams.
So you've got Matty Leo is Leeds Leopards. He's not changed his team. So Matt, if you do look at this, change your bloody team and your logo.
So it's
obviously you've got the Portsmouth Pirates. So Leeds Leopards have got Lamar Jackson, Brees Hall, Aaron Jones, Malik Neighbours, DK Metcalf, George Pickens, Ben Sinnott, Jaden Reed, Kieran Coleman, Evan McPherson, Xavier McKinney, and Ivan Pace, is it? Ivan Pace?
I don't know what his first name is, but
and then you've got Portsmouth Pirates. You've got Josh Allen, Josh Jacobs, Kenneth Walker, Chris Olave, Roma Dudesy, Xavier Worthy, Dallas Goddard, Javonte Williams, Tony Pollard, Dickory Kicker, Kyle Hamilton, and Antoine Winfield, I think it is.
I was taking the rip out Anton Winfield when I seen that he was going, last week. I seen that he went very, very early in a couple of leagues.
Yeah, he did.
He's a defensive back. You surely want your linebackers for tackles. And then I went in and I looked at his points scored. And I thought, I can see why they're all taking him.
Yeah.
He's scored like 300 points a season, So, yeah.
He's a bit of a beast,
in the end.
Because the Bucks defense is usually pretty good, so.
I like both these starting lineups. I've got to say,
that's going to be a good game. That's going to be a good game to see how that one plays out.
And as I say, I do like. You've got Jackson. I love having Daniels on the bench. If you're picking up Daniels, he's not a starting quarterback week one for me. You want someone else. You want someone more. If you're picking Daniels and you think that, then you want to plug in a Goff. You want to plug in a Rodgers, a Cousins, someone to start the season off, someone who you know is going to score you points, and watch what Daniels is doing. And then when Daniels is picking up the points, you plug him in and you get rid of your old timer. But to stick him on your bench with Lamar Jackson in your starting lineup, I don't see the point in that. Because no matter how well Jaden Daniels starts to go, you're not going to drop Jackson.
And they both have the same bye week. They're both bye week 14.
So that loses me a little bit in the sense of there's just no need, and it's kind of where you're picking Daniels up. You could have been having a good running back or a good wide receiver for your bench there, And if you look on the right hand side, May and Herbert on the bench, well, time out. It's a onesie position. Why do you need 3 players?
Well,
when there's also some in the agency.
Vidal third string, Charbonnet back up. He's got 2 Indianapolis wide receivers, then Musgrove. So the bench isn't great in that one.
I'm not liking that bench.
He's got Cortland Sutton on the left.
Liking the other bench, I've got to say. I love Sutton, Palmer, and Smith and Jigba on the bench. I think that's quite strong.
And Sanders, he will get targets as well.
The problem there, I keep it, is Benson and Allen is your running back cover, and you could have had someone plugged in there instead of Jaden Daniels, better than Allen and Benson as your running back cover. So yeah, I do like both these starting lineups, but I'm not a fan of either bench. So yeah.
Oh yeah, you had that mad quarterback run. Remember that you traded out of in this because you didn't need one. So.
Oh yeah, that's right. So we did. I loved that run. That was great. Oh, is this my division? Is it?
Yeah, because it's finished now.
Yeah, this is my division. Oh, he's going to start shouting at me. Don't start shouting at me. Just go on to the next one. Come on.
So we'll go on to the Glenrothes Nazgul's because Martin's here enjoying and listening away. So we'll start off. Obviously, the teams haven't been sorted. So we'll go Tua, Kieran Williams, Travis Etienne, T. Higgins, Rasheed Rice, Jordan Addison, Dalton Kincaid, Evan Ingram, Alvin Kamara, Jason Sanders, no IDP. And in Pressing Panthers, you've got Jalen Hurts, Devon Achane, Austin Eckler, AJ Brown, DJ Moore, Tank Dell, Jake Ferguson, Dalton Schultz, Troy Franklin, Brandon Aubrey, Max Crosby, defensive end, and Roquan Smith.
Good be there, eh?
So I'm guessing because it automatically picks a team, they won't have any defensive players. No, he's not.
again, Fields is the other one. Fields is the other one for me, whereby if you're picking him up, you stick him on your bench and you get a decent quarterback in first, because Fields could be a championship winner again if he comes in the back half of the season with the way he runs the ball, the way he uses his legs. And Pittsburgh Pittsburgh are going to be thereabouts again. They always are. So I have no problem plugging Fields in and on the bench. Hubbard,
the problem is that his quarterback's bye week is week 6. So he's not got time for Fields to probably get in the field before then. So later on.
The thing is, but you can just go and pick someone up from agency for that week. You're not putting Fields on your bench to cover a bye week. You're putting Fields on your bench because you hope he comes in at the back end of the season and does. Let's not forget the points that Fields scored in fantasy weeks last week.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's. I think there's no problem. Fields, if he gets in, he will score fantasy points. So I've no problem plugging him on the bench, and I do like this. I do like Martin's team to a certain extent, and he's given himself lots of options because he's got no IDPs. Keep coming down a bit, Johnny. Let me see the bottom of it. Let me see the finishing. How he finished it. Yeah, I'm not a fan of Goodwin, obviously. You know that. I can't. I've never have been, even when he was doing well. I wasn't a fan. So yeah, I've got no problem. I have no problem with that. But you're going to have the defenders. There's plenty of them, so you pick up a couple of defenders before the season starts. I've no problem there either.
Yeah, you can do matchups for that one.
Mm-hmm. So I don't hate. I'm not a fan of Tua, so that puts me off there. But and then
4
what?
Defenders on the other team. Baker Mayfield,
and I do
Mattison, Gibson, Pierce will do Rooney.
I think Mayfield on the bench is a waste of a bench spot, because I'm sorry, but Mayfield will sit in the agency and you can pick him up from agency if he's not on your bench. And again, it's a spot you can have, and you've got Hurts and starting lineup. So you're not putting Mayfield in at all. You're never putting Mayfield in over Hurts. Never.
Well, you'll play week 5, but that'll probably be it. So yeah, but you might dump him after week 5.
For week 5. So I like Gibson. I'm not Madison. I'm totally cold on Madison this year. Pierce will be okay, I guess. So yeah, the team on the right, it's a nice spread as well. In terms of got a couple of running backs.
4 defensive players. So
I've not got a problem with that. I don't have a problem with having defensive. I know that there are plenty in agency, but you've got 2 slots that you've got to fill there. So you want 1 or 2 sitting on your bench that you can maybe choose between, just in case one of your guys isn't having a good week,
True.
I know who I'm picking in this. I know who I'm picking in this division anyway, because obviously I was in this draft, so I know what kind of how they look-ish.
Cool.
So next up,
we've got the Lee Vikings against the Chicago Scorpions. So you've got Dak Prescott, Joe Mixon, Najee Harris, CeeDee Lamb, Marvin Harrison, Michael Pittman, Brock Bowers, TJ Hawkinson, Cole Kmet, Jake Moody, Micah Parsons, Nick Bosa. And then you've got Joe Burrow, McCaffrey, Jonathan Taylor, Nico Collins, Deebo Samuels, Deontay Johnson, Kyle Pitts, Raheem Mostert, Brian Thomas, Cammy Fairbairn, Alex Singleton, and Quincy Williams. So I like you.
See, that's the problem when you go like CMC and JT. I guess I'm assuming 1 and 2. You don't get one of those big wide receivers to complement that.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's if you do take your running back, then you are having to kind of look at the other side. And if you look at the other side of this one, it's the exact opposite, where it's Lamb and Harrison. They were obviously 1 and 2,
and Pittman, and then Pittman.
And then Pittman, so it's running back that's kind of suffering there, and you've got Najee Harris plugged into the starting lineup, which is, I like Naj, but let's face it, he's not exactly knocked it out of the park, has he? So
I don't know. I'm telling you, Arthur Smith offense.
And Prescott, so
they got a different offensive coordinator, so it's going to be a whole nother ball game. We're going to see rookie season Najee Harris this year.
I hope so. I really, really hope so. And
I've got one of 3 dynasties. So.
I'm a big fan. And Prescott, I like Prescott in at quarterback. He is a point scoring machine when he's on it, and they will have their weeks where he's on it. I mean, he done really well for me in the home league last year, surprisingly well, I thought, because I actually traded for him because my quarterback went down. I can't remember who it was now, but I traded Graham for him, and he done me really proud, to be fair. But yeah, Lamb and Harrison, I'm cold on Lamb, but only because of the situation more than anything else. And Hawkinson, I'm quite cold on because of the situation, but I'm loving Bowers now. I'm loving Bowers. And there's certainly plenty of options there at tight end. That Hawkinson is one just to park on the bench and see that. And if he does come, he could be good for the playoffs if you're in them, you know.
So look at the bench.
What are the benches here then, Johnny?
Oh, 3 quarterbacks, McCarthy and Cousins.
Ding, 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 ding. Problem!
Four quarterbacks. I never noticed Will Levis
I'm saying.
And Kendry Miller. For God's sake, man.
4 quarterbacks in Kendry Miller. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let you two discuss that while I quickly run to the loo because I'm busting. So you can please have a discussion on 4 quarterbacks in a fantasy team.
Fuck.
You can drop McCarthy, you can drop Levis, you can drop Miller.
Yeah. He's also got Hines Allen, defensive end, Will Anderson.
I would keep the linebacker. Because they're gonna get points.
Yeah. And obviously it's the second year, he's gonna get more. He was good last year.
Yeah.
So he's only going to get better. On the other side, you've got Rogers, Loeb, Gus Sebas, Demarcus Robinson, Curtis Samuel. I do like Curtis Samuel.
Yeah. Samuel.
Montavian Wicks, Greg Dulcich.
And what no one mentions is like with Curtis Samuel, he played with that offensive coordinator when he was in Carolina.
Yeah.
So
I like Curtis Samuel. I always have. Again, he'll pop up. You'll get more of a chance now because you're not playing behind Dotson and Scary Terry. So
yeah.
Sorry about that, gents. I'm back now. That's the problem with playing 2.5 hours of badminton. I went about 6 litres of water through me and it just goes through me.
If it was Superflex, I can see having those quarterbacks, but we're playing 1 quarterback here.
Yeah, so 4 quarterbacks, 2 defensive ends, Kendry Miller. Kendry Miller is basically the backup running back because he's only got.
He's very thin at receiver too, right?
Was that?
He's very thin at wide receiver.
Well, yeah, he's got McCaffrey and Judy.
McCaffrey's
three running backs. One of them's Kendry Miller. So it's a bit of a sore one.
He certainly needs Lamb to be playing. That's for sure. He needs Lamb to not be sitting out too more.
That's probably what it was.
An unfavourable trade on someone. I mean, yes, absolutely, and I've seen people do it before. But no one's going to trade you for a quarterback because there's going to be quarterbacks in agency. So, and certainly no one's going to trade you for JJ McCarthy. No one's going to trade you for Will Levis.
Yeah.
So you've got guys in agency. So I get that in the sense of if it's a super flex or even if it's a dynasty, but this isn't either. So I think that's just a waste of a couple of bench spots for me. I mean, it might work out. It might work out great. I don't know, but
at some point, he's going to need a running back because he's only got 3, and one of them's Kendry Miller.
I'm very cold on that. So yeah, I see a long season ahead there. Yeah. Right, next, Johnny. Let's have a look at the next one because
you and Doug. So you can talk us through your team. We'll go your team first, then, Craig.
Right. Well, do you know what? I'm actually really happy with my team this year. I've got to say, I hate to say it, I hate to put it out there, but I'm really happy with my team this year. I've got pretty much what I wanted. So I started off Kyler Murray in quarterback, and I went early with him. You know me, Johnny. I don't go early in quarterback. I picked him up in the 7th round, but I picked him up in the 7th round because I didn't have an 8th round pick and I didn't have a 9th round pick, and I'm pretty sure he wouldn't have made it to the 10th. So I took the swing there on him. The big thing that I'd done that I wasn't happy with is I took Pacheco and Kelsey. And that's it. It's a very
live
good
on,
offense.
live on YouTube as well.
But
Yes.
I have Cook, Jefferson, Chase, and Ridley. Jefferson, Chase, and Ridley is my top three receivers. I'm really happy with. Kelsey then coming in, Dubs coming in, and right, this is where my problem lies, and my problem lies here because I gave up my 8th and 9th. That my second flex spot is always it's going to be interchangeable week on week, I'm sure. Carlson I picked up in the last round, and do you know I didn't? We went into round 17. And I didn't have a defender. And I've ended up with Walker, Al-Shahir, and Edwards. And I'm very happy with those three from going in without having one into the 17th round. And then you come down to my bench as well, Johnny. I'm quite happy with my bench. I think Dobbins will get, as long as he's fit, Dylan's going to get touches. And I picked up Dowdle and Algier to give myself options at the running back slot,
Oh, you got Wilson as well.
I took Wilson to pair him with to stack him with Murray, and I think Wilson will be fine. I've got Polk in there just because he's rookie, but he could be the number one wide receiver in New England this year. So I picked him up, and then I took Okononko because I needed another tight end for cover for Kelsey, and I wish I had a better second tight end than that. That's my biggest issue there. That I wish I had a better second tight end. But I'm really happy with my team. I think any one of those players I can plug in and will score me points any given week. So I'm really happy with it.
Yeah,
and then Doug's team, Doug being Doug has went along just fine.
You got White, Stevenson, Amon St. Brown, Drake London, Jalen Waddle, Njoku, Cup, Kirk, Gay, Bolton, and Bates. Yeah, did Doug not get like 3 quite decent rounds in second, third, and fourth off?
Yes, he got a very good trade. And if you look on his bench as well, now he did pick up. I'm not sure why he's picked up Lawrence with Purdy because that's just giving him a headache as well. But at least that is one that is you'll interchange those quarterbacks. You've not got an absolute stonewall. I have to start him quarterback, so I get having the two to give yourself the option. And then he's got his usual he's got his usual Warren, Chris Brown has got every chance, and Tajay Spears. His big number twos are Warren and Spears. That's where Doug's going this year. He's gone for Warren, he's gone for Spears for his benches. Whereas my two are mine are kind of Dowdle and Algier. And, I'm getting Dylan really late, so I'm happy to pick him up. But this is what Doug is doing. This is a Doug team. And he's picking up, I don't get him picking up Thielen, but it's a very good team. I'm not a fan of Conklin either. So, but I think Doug's done just fine there as well. I really do. I don't think, Thielen's his starting lineup's very good, and he has options on his bench if you take Thielen out of the equation.
I don't know if Aaron Rodgers is healthy, I can see Conklin having a decent season like he did the year before. Not last year, but the year before he had a decent season.
I mean, Rodgers does kind of like a tight end as well, so it very much could be. It just he's a bit like Fryermuth for me. That he's I used to like him, and he's let me down so often that I'm just not in. I just don't anymore.
Cool. Then we'll go on to the Darlington Rams, Sam, and Nairn Knights. Is that Joe? Yeah, Joe.
Yeah. We want to play Sam week 5.
What's that?
Because he's got a lot of bye weeks in week 5.
All right. Oh yeah. So I think Doug plays him, I think, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, that was
CJ Stroud, Jahmyr Gibbs, Saquon Barkley, Devontae Adams, Amari Cooper, Khalil Shakir, Trey McBride, Pat Fryermuth, Jameson Williams, Justin Tucker, Lucon, who's pulled a hammy, so he's not training at the moment. Zaire Franklin.
It'll be time for the start of the season.
On Nairn Knights, you've got Patrick Mahomes.
That was an auto pick.
That was definitely an auto pick, that one.
That was an auto pick, 106.
And it was also, there was another one as well, who was ill. So yeah, I knew Mahomes, so yeah. The 106, Mahomes, yeah, you had to wait a long time for that one. Montgomery, Swift, Nakua, Smith, Flowers, Kittle, Elliott, Blake Corum, Jake Elliott, DJ Watt, and Bobby Ariki.
Well, I'm pretty sure Joe doesn't watch this, so I can be as critical as I so desire. But I mean, he was unlucky, obviously picking up Mahomes 106. That's kind of harsh, and it's hard to come back from that when you get an auto pick of someone in the first round like that. Whereby yes, he's a great player, yes, he's going to score you well, but you're not going to be picking him up in round 1. So that's kind of hurt him there. So then you've got Montgomery and Swift as your running backs. I mean, that's kind of problem for the.
Sure.
I see that as a problem. Puka, I've seen nothing but regression this year. And if you're massive on Cooper Kupp, you cannot also be massive on Puka this year. And I'm massive
Well,
on
he
Cooper
took
Kupp this
Puka
year.
in the second round. So Puka was his first
Yeah.
actual pick.
Actual pick. But I mean, for me, Puka, I mean, he could have half the season that he had last year and still score you quite well, still score you good. But for a second round pick, I'm looking for him to be a top 10 wide receiver this year. And I just don't see Puka Nacua being a top 10 wide receiver this year. I just cannot see it.
There's that many players are
I
going
see
to be
nothing
top
but
10
regression.
receivers. Somebody's going to miss out. But yeah, I do like
No,
Sam's
that
team, though.
can't all be. Yeah, Sam's team started very well there. As I say, he's got a couple. There's a couple of weeks that he's got a lot of bye weeks. It's week 5, and I think maybe week 8 or week 10 or something like that. But he's got a couple of weeks that he's got bye issues. But yeah, I mean, I think he's done. He's picked very well, and he was picking from late on the first round as well. So it has came, obviously Fryer, I'm not the biggest fan of, but I love McBride. I'm pretty sure he took him quite early as well because I was wanting him and he went too early for me. But yeah, I mean, having Blake Corum in your starting lineup as well, that's a problem.
That is a problem.
For Joe.
Where did he go?
And let's see the benches, Johnny.
3-11, he took McBride. So third round.
Yeah, I thought he'd went early with him because
Sam's got Stafford,
kinda
Davis, Tracy, Chubb when he comes back to be good. Douglas, Henry, Carty, and Owusu Karamoa.
I don't get the point of having a kicker on your bench. I mean, there's 12 teams. There's 32 NFL teams and there's 12 in the fantasy league. Why would you have a kicker on your bench? Anyway,
and on the other side, you got.
I
Caleb
don't really
Williams.
like either bench, other than Caleb Williams being on the bench. I really don't.
Well, there, Reece Sammett's been picked again. I wonder if that was the last round. But
yeah, I don't get picking him either. I really don't. It's so yeah. I mean, there's nothing wrong with either of these teams. I've got to say they're both pretty, okay. They're both fine. They're both decent. See, I
They
don't
definitely a trade or two. A trade or two. The two of the right trades will improve them a lot. They can pull up some good trades. Yeah.
There's going to be some close games in this week, though. That's one thing. So we'll go on to the best team name, the Skelmersteel Hot Dogs against the New Barstow Masters. So you've got, for the Hot Dogs, you've got Anthony Richardson, Bijan Robinson, Tamir White, Brandon Ayuk, Stephon Diggs, Keenan Allen, Sam Laporta, Terry McLaurin, Devin Singletary, Harrison Butker, Ernest Jones, and Jordan Brooks. And then New Barstow Masters, you've got Jordan Love, Derek Henry, James Conner, Tyreek Hill, Garrett Wilson, Mike Evans, Mark Andrews, Tyler Lockett, Zach Moss, Younghoe Koo, Tremaine Edwards, and Terrell Bernard.
So again, it's both these teams are the team on the right here's starters all the kind of way, even down to the last one being the last flex being Zach Moss. But if you look at the receivers on the left hand side here,
I was about to say the same thing. Yep. Hill, Wilson, and Evans. Yeah.
I am cold on Ayuk, I am cold on Diggs, and I am cold on Allen. So how can I be big on that? I can't be big on that team when it's got 3 receivers that I wouldn't be anywhere near this year. So that
I'm gonna tell you what it is. I mean, I'm gonna tell you what's good about Diggs and Allen, that they always start off great. They finish horribly. Allen will get hurt, miss a couple of games, but he'll start the season off good till Odunze, gets up to speed.
I mean, yes, absolutely. You know, but surely you're looking at the back end of the season and not the start of the season.
Right.
It doesn't matter if you start 6-0 if you lose the first round of the playoffs. You know, you could run through the season 14-0, and if you lose week 1 in the playoffs, it doesn't matter. So when you've got the likes of Allen, who's maybe dying off at the end, you know, Diggs, who's maybe getting less and less because Dell's taking on, you know, Dell and Collins are taking over a bit more, and for me, it's. And I love Richardson at quarterback. I think he's a fantasy cheat code if he stays fit.
Well, he's got Jared Goff. Jared Goff is backup, so at least he's got a backup if he gets injured. But the Newcastle Masters don't have a quarterback, so
it's a good backup quarterback. You know, it's good to have a backup when you've got someone who you're worried about maybe getting injury and stuff like that. You know, and then on the benches, I mean, where are you with Tank Bigsby this year? Is he going to do anything this year? He was talked about last year, and then he was utter garbage.
Not at all.
No.
It's I'm not seeing it either, and I did pick him up quite a few times last year. I was so disappointed in him last year. So
that was all the hype last year. He's going to get loads of touches because they're going to let Etienne have a bit of a break, and he carried the ball as many times. Tank Bigsby more times going backwards and going forwards. So nearly as much as Marvin.
Take me down a little bit, Johnny. Take me down a wee bit further, will you? So on the right hand side here. Oh no, there's a couple more there. There's Wendell Robinson and Davis as well.
But yeah, Watson.
I mean, he's got Deshaun Watson, which I'm just not a fan of at all. Mike Williams and Brandon Cooks on the left. There's two good players to be having sitting on your bench. I mean, Bateman, if he comes good, but it's a big if, isn't it? So yeah, I mean, nothing majorly wrong with any of these teams, but I'm not a fan of the wide receivers on the left, really. You know, the starting ones especially. And on the right, they have got a major running back issue, if they're not, because they've only got,
they've got Jerome Ford on the bottom, there. So he'll be starting. So
yeah, but if you take us up to the actual starting two, it's Montgomery and Swift in it, and Lloyd's injured, so that's a problem.
No, you've got Henry.
Oh no, it's not. It's Henry Connor. Sorry, Henry and Connor. So yeah, no, that is actually two good starting running backs.
Yeah,
exactly.
I'd start Ford over Moss.
You might still do that.
Yeah,
this league is just finished, so nobody's actually set their teams because it only finished about 20 minutes ago.
So that's us looked at all the teams in here. Who are you picking, Johnny?
I hate to say it, but I'm going for the top head Niners.
What about you, Everett?
You're a close second, but I've got to go with Doug.
So without being biased and picking my brother Craig, I top head Niners would be my was my other choice.
We know Craig will be picking himself.
So not taking your boy Craig, you're going with your boy Craig's biggest enemy.
Yeah. And week one's gonna tell the week one's gonna predict how the season goes.
That's Everett. That's not the week one fixture. I've got to change the fixture. They play a week.
Oh, I got to pick somebody else.
No. You picked the right one. It's just that won't be week one game.
They're playing each other in week 8. I've not.
I know. Oh, week 8. I thought that was the week 1 that we were looking at right there.
No, they just automatically do that, but that's not the fixtures. I'll be changing.
Oh, gotcha. But yeah, without picking Craig, it'd be the top head Niners.
Well, top head Niners have got the bye week when they play Sam with all the bye players, so that's the reason. So he gets a win, yeah. But it'd be very close between you and Doug.
I love my team this year, I really do. And you know I'm honest about it, Johnny, and if I've had a bad draft, I'll say I've had a bad draft. But I'm really happy with the draft that I've had here, and I really do like my team. So I've got to put confidence in my own team, because if I don't, when I've been happy with the draft, then what are you going to do, you know?
I've already put your name down for it anyway for yourself. But like I say, it's very close between you and Doug. Sorry, Martin. Martin's not very happy.
Let's jump into Division 4 now. Sorry, Martin. Yeah, you're bummed out. I do like the team, though. I do like the team that you've put together.
So here we've got the Aberdeen Bucks against the Plymouth Argyle Browns. So we've got Stevie against Arthur. So we'll start off with the Aberdeen Bucks. We've got Josh Allen, Jonathan Taylor, James Conner, Devontae Adams, Mike Evans, Christian Kirk, Dallas Goddard, DeAndre Hopkins, Deontay Johnson, Brandon Aubrey, Lucon and Ernest Jones. And then on the Plymouth, you've got C.J. Stroud, Devin Achane, Rashad White, Puka Nacua, Jaden Reed, A.D. Mitchell, Sam Laporta, Malachi Corley, Cole Kmet, Dustin Hopkins, Max Crosby, and Myles Garrett. So he's gone for a bit of a homer for a couple of years because obviously he's a Browns fan, so he's gone for Hopkins and Garrett. Thought he picked a third one too, but I could be wrong.
I mean, I see no problem with either of these starting lineups again. As I say, you've got Adams and Evans are two every year they're 1,000-yard receivers. I don't see any reason why they won't go for 1,000 yards again this year. Both of them.
He just didn't agree the second and third round.
My worry for both is their touchdown production and how many touchdowns are the Raiders going to be scoring, how many touchdowns are the Buccaneers going to be scoring, and is it going to be those two? Because it wasn't kind of last year, do you know what I mean? And that's what puts me off Adams and Evans, I have to say. It's why I'm not getting them this year, because they are going quite early still, and if they were going in the 5th or 6th round, I would be delighted to pick up either. But I just, the teams that they're playing in this year, I'm just not comfortable with. And on the other side there is Puka for me again. I think he'll be fine. He will do absolutely fine, but he's not going to be a top 10 wide receiver, in my opinion. Therefore, he has been drafted right at his ceiling. I love Achane, but I worry about his injuries. So yeah, and then when you've got rookies in your starting lineup that and it's not one of the top rookies that is going to be fine. And you've got Adonai Mitchell in your lineup, starting lineup.
And Corley,
that the bench isn't very good. You've got Corley in your starting lineup. That worries me that the bench is very bad.
Oh yeah, Arthur had 3 quarterbacks. He's got Drake May and Kyler Murray.
Well, there you go. And who's
C.J. Stroud, Kyler Murray, and Drake May. Obviously, Chubb will come in. Chubb, there's the other Cleveland. I knew you had another one. Nick Chubb.
Yeah, Chubb will come in at some point. But I just, when you get Kyler Murray and
C.J. Stroud.
C.J. Stroud, it's just lunacy for me. That's just going to make you look silly week in, week out. One of them is. I like the rest of the bench. I mean, Kraft, again, everyone's going Musgrave, and rightly so. He probably will be the number one. But Kraft will get his time. He'll get his touches and he'll get his points.
Problem is picking the right week.
I like the bench on the left, I've got to say. I mean, I'm not Conklin, I'm not in on, but I get what you're saying, Everett, in the sense that if Rodgers can be kind of even 80% Green Bay Packer Rodgers, Conklin could very well have a great year.
Because who was that? Joe Flacco they had his rookie year?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you have Aaron Rodgers, who's, to me, a way better quarterback. I mean, because last year he had Zach Wilson. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, that's it. Last year you had no chance. I mean, you just need to look at Wilson's production last year to know that, if Wilson's not doing it, then none of them are,
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I really do like the bench on the left-hand side here, because you've got Palmer, who could be the number one for the Chargers, and if he's not, he'll still be getting plenty of the ball. He has shown that he has a good partnership with
Herbert.
they've done it in the past, so I don't see why he can't be the kind of main target for him with what else is there. Brian Robinson, I think, is in for a decent year, and Rico Dowdle's in for a good year in Dallas, because there's no one, they're going to get their touches. Robinson's different; he's a great running back. Dowdle not so much, but his situation means he's going to get the touches. And Vidal, well, I love Vidal in the sense.
That's a good pickup for Vidal.
I don't know. It's not that I love him as a running back. I think he's a wonderful, brilliant running back. I think he's landed in an absolutely wonderful position where he has 2 running backs in front of him who haven't finished a full season, who haven't played a full season in their careers. I don't think.
Yeah. Well, he got Vidal in the 1912 pick, and then he picked up Tyler Conklin in 2001. So it's a nice finish to the draft.
Those are good spots.
He got DeAndre Hopkins in the 16th round.
I don't mind Gino being on the bench there as well, because he'll have his games as well. And but I mean, it's Josh Allen that's in the first team, but so it's kind of a waste of a spot. But if you're wanting a good quarterback, I guess to cover the bye week, then you have to look at picking one up, because if you're going to agency for bye week, then you're going to have to settle for the fact that you're going to have a Bryce Young, quarterbacking you that week. But I mean, that might still garner you 20 points, which is fine,
Or it might get you 5 points. But yeah,
it's just how much you want it. So yeah, again, I'm not absolutely detest. I'm not hating any of these teams, but I'm not totally in love with any of them, either of them either. I don't like the
two defensive ends
thing.
for two defensive ends for Arthur, but I'd imagine they two will score points. So,
I mean, it's the two best defensive ends,
And Montez Sweat's no spring chicken either, so he's got three of the best ones. Yeah. Did he even tell you what they got last year? I can't mind on.
Yeah, you can go to history, Johnny.
It's not quite the same in the computer than it is on your phone, but yeah, he didn't do great in the middle. I think he was a bit injured, so usually get you about 15, 17 points. Then
he's a tackle machine. More. Even bigger tackle machine.
Something else. Like, 28, 32, most 11, 12, 6.
That's too sporadic. That's just the name. We know he's a great defender, but he's not. He's not
a linebacker. Like, if you go to a look on 24, 20, 26, 31, 39, 24, 27, 21, 25, 20, 23. So his worst weeks are 12, whereas Garrett's worst weeks are 5. So yeah, it's definitely a linebacker scoring.
Well, the linebackers get most of the tackles, that's the thing. It's who gets all the tackles, and the defensive ends. See, especially when it's a passing play, the defensive ends are making the space for the linebackers to get through and get there to the quarterback, so that's why they're kind of not the massive scorers or anything, because they tend to be making the way. But then when they're running the ball, then defensive ends are the first ones to touch the running backs, so if they bring them down, then they'll get the tackle.
And they get the tackle for a loss as well if they get hit in the quarterback. Yeah, it's you don't. The problem is with the Browns is you don't really. It's hard because their defense is so good.
I mean, I'm still not there in IDP yet. I'm not going to lie. I've still not worked out quite exactly where I want. Kind of the best way to go about drafting your IDPs. I really don't, because there's a lot of names that I don't even recognise that are scoring 20 points a week. And then there's big names that you do recognise that aren't.
I know. It's a bit
anyway, next one. So here we go. Kirkwall Chargers.
Kirkwall Chargers against the Yorkshire Los Muertos. The Kirkwall Chargers, obviously, he lives in Kirkwall, as you can tell. So you've got Dak Prescott, Ramondre Stevenson, Tony Pollard, Jamar Chase, Garrett Wilson, Jalen Waddle, Mark Andrews, Cooper Kupp, Rasheed Rice, Jake Elliott, Nick Bolton, and Luke Wilson. And then Yorkshire Los Muertos, that's Johnny. He's got James Herbert, Travis Etienne, James Cook, CeeDee Lamb, Chris Olave, DK Metcalf, Brock Bowers, T. Higgins, Brooks as a starter, but obviously he's not going to be starting. No kicker, Al Shahir and Alec Anzalone. I don't think he's really looked at his teams.
They got some good receivers on both sides here.
The big question for me is who's on the bench for Yorkshire, but I do love both sets of receivers.
So the bench have got Trevor Lawrence, Taylor Allen, Johnny Gibson, Kendra Miller, Jalen Pork, Lad McConkey, Johan Dotson, Hunter Henry, and Eric Kendricks.
I mean, there are a couple of players there that can be plugged in. You can plug in Polk. Would you want to be plugging in Polk week 1? I'm not quite convinced, but Lad McConaughey, you're happy to plug in week 1, Gibson, you can plug in week 1 and get what you get. But Gibson and Polk scares me, just having two, in fact, and Henry. So you've got 3 offensive pieces from probably the worst offense in the league.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't think that's wonderful.
And on the other side, you've got Hill, Fields, Lloyd, Edwards, Moss, Cook, Shaheed, James.
Yeah, I mean the Moss, Cooks, and Shaheed love that. But I mean Gus as well. If Edwards stays fit, then he's going to be getting a lot of touches and he'll score a lot of points because they'll run the ball a lot. Harbaugh loves to run the ball.
Oh hell, of course, especially goal line.
I don't like Hill. I Taysom Hill, I'm just not a fan. He's getting older as well, so these wee trick plays that they keep throwing up for him, defences are starting to work them out now, and he's getting older, he's getting slower. Not for me. I like Fields being on the bench though, because obviously, I think that Fields could be the man the second half of the season. He's a man that you could be bringing in for playoffs once he gets in the team. And I do like both receivers in the starting lineups. Take me back up to the running backs again, Johnny, just to see the. I mean, obviously Rice, I don't like this year, but I love him as a receiver, and I think he'll be a very good receiver. But Chase, Wilson, Waddle, Rice, and whoever that was, and Pollard and Stevenson, Etienne and Cooks are great. Yeah, these are two really good teams, actually. Can't make my mind up on what one I prefer, but I think my winner's going to be Take me up to the top again, Johnny. Sorry, let me see the quarterbacks. Prescott and Herbert. Yeah, I'm going with Kirkwall Chargers as my favourite so far.
Yeah, they do look pretty good. So we'll go on to the Rotherham Raiders and the Bucks Golder, so that'll be Gary. So Rotherham Raiders, you've got Joe Burrow, Kieran Williams, Alvin Kamara, Tyreek Hill, Michael Pittman, Chris Godwin, Evan Ingram, Curtis Samuel, Jacoby Myers, Matt Gay, Tremaine Edwards, and Alex Singleton. Against Gary, you've got Caleb Williams, Bijan Robinson, Derek Henry, Marvin Harrison, Brandon Ayuk, Robert Ducey, Luke Musgrove, Kean Coleman, Ryan Thomas, a lot of rookies, Harrison Butker, Micah Parsons, and Josh Hines Allen.
Is Gary feeling all right? He seems to have drafted really well there.
It's a bit unusual. Yeah. He's had plenty of practice.
Very unusual. Williams and Kamara, that's a real good running back starting. I mean, so is Bijan and Derek Henry, to be honest with you. I love both of these teams right down to if you could take out Ayuk in the right and take out Godwin in the left.
I knew you would say that.
I think that's superb stars. And that's two really good rookie wide receivers in there, and Coleman and Thomas. I've got no problem picking up the rookie wide receivers, the ones that are going to be playing and are going to be on the pitch, It's when you start breaking down to the kind of the McCaffreys and, these guys, you don't want too many of them in because you need, obviously, them to hit all, at least one of them to hit type thing. Let's see the benches on here, Johnny, because I've got no problem with either starting lineup. One player in each, but
Ayuk's Goff, Loeb, Benson, Ford, Iosivas, who's technically the number 3 receiver at the moment, Hollywood Brown, K. Dotton, and CJ Mosley, and then Gary's got Brock Purdy, Bucky Irvin, Pearsall, McCaffrey, Sinnott, Bates. He's got another kicker. Kayvon Thibodeau, I think he autoed that one actually, and Kyle Hamilton.
So that's 1, 2, 3 run in a quarterback. So 4 of Gary's bench spots are for kind of onesie type positions. I know that you've got 2 defenders, but onesie type position. I get him picking up Pearsall, though. That's a really good pickup with Ayuk in your team, because if Ayuk does go and they don't bring in another receiver, Pearsall's going to get a lot of the ball.
Yeah. Well, apparently Doug is not ready yet, but he should be ready.
I'm just no sure on Lobb and Benson. I get, if Ford is a good cover, though. Ford is very good cover, but Lobb and Benson, I'm not sure that they're going to get as much play as people are hoping. I love both these starting lineups, specifically. Is it Rotherham?
Rotherham Raiders.
Rotherham Raiders. Yeah, I've always on
Kirkwall. They were looking good until you got down to Godwin. So.
I like Godwin though. I like Godwin though. I
like Godwin. Just Craig doesn't like Godwin.
I know. I think the difference in those 2 star lineups is the quarterbacks. I think we'll see how Caleb Williams comes out. I'm not disliking him.
He's got Brock Purdy as well though, so you can always play Brock Purdy instead of Caleb Williams.
Okay. Yeah.
So
I mean that's it. And then probably they'll start with Purdy and see how Williams goes. Would probably be the best way to go about that.
Especially being a 49ers fan. Mm-hmm. So we'll go on to the Edinburgh Thunderbirds. and against the Laxdale legend, so it'll be Stephen Campbell from Isle of Skye, I think he is. The Edinburgh Thunderbirds, we've got Lamar Jackson, Isaiah Pacheco, Javonte Williams, Justin Jefferson, Nico Collins, Xavier Worthy, George Kittle, David Njoku, Jameson Williams, Youngwei Koo, Will Anderson and Fred Warner. And Laxdale legends start off Anthony Richardson, Joe Mixon, Montgomery, Amon St. Brown, AJ Brown, Amani Cooper, Trey McBride, Raheem Mostert, Chuba Hubbard, Justin Tucker, Raekwon Smith and Patrick Queen. So I can say this right away, the team on the right is my favourite team so far. So
yeah, I was about to say they're sneaky good. Even, I mean, I wait till we see the benches because I mean, you know, Hubbard's going to start because Brooks is out.
He's got three quarterbacks. That's on the bad side for Laxdale legends.
That's my problem with this one. And you know, Jordan Love on your bench. Who's the starting quarterback on the left, Johnny? Again, sorry, before we go.
Jackson,
right? Okay, so Love's a waste. Like, I mean, you're taking him off another player, I guess, and Love is one that you might get a trade for, but I'm not being funny. I'm not trading anything for a quarterback unless it's rubbish. It's stuff that I don't want because I can pick one up in agency.
So you've got J.K. Dobbins,
Chandler, Thielen, Williams,
Mayer,
and Meyer. There you go. There's Meyer.
And Bayard and Winfield.
I mean, Winfield is a points machine. If you look on the points, he's an absolute points machine. He was like over 300 last year. So I see no problem. And you know, he's one that can be plugged into that starting lineup any old time. So, yeah, the one on the left here, if you take Thielen out of it, I think it's absolutely fantastic. Might be the favourite one I've seen so far. I include mine in that.
Cool. But, yeah. I was liking that Laxdale legends also the extra two quarterbacks. Quentin Johnson.
Yeah, it's 2 quarter, and then Quentin Johnson. I don't like, and a kicker. Is that another kicker on the bench as well for Laxdale? Did I see another kicker there? No, I didn't. No. But it's got Quentin Johnson as well. So, yeah, the one on the left here, Edinburgh, whatever it is, by a country mile for me at the moment. And here,
Edinburgh
have we got another one to look at in here, Johnny? Because we're running
out
of time.
I know we've got workshopped off rookies against the Bodom Bears. So you've got Jalen Hurts, you hear Tamir Gibbs, Najee Harris, Deebo Samuel, Tank Dell, Dalton Kincaid, Calvin Ridley, Christian Watson, Jake Moody, Zaire Franklin, Ivan Pace, and then Bodom Bears who've got Matt Stafford, Christian McCaffrey, Josh Jacobs, Malik Neighbours, Zay Flowers, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Jake Ferguson, John Swift, Romeo Dubes, Evan McPherson, Devin Lloyd and Quincy Williams.
You know, this one on the team on the right here, this is how you do a second quarterback. You've got a rookie quarterback who runs with the ball constant. You know, he's a running quarterback, but you don't know, he's coming into a bad team. You don't know what he's going to be like. So what do? You bring in a veteran to start into play at the beginning and wait and see what happens with Daniel. So you bring in a Matt Stafford. I think that's such a good move. And see if there's another quarterback underneath Daniels, I'm going to be so disappointed.
No. Yes. Blake Corum, Leo Herbert, Charbonnet, Davis, Likely.
The running back options, which I like as well.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Is that the Bodom Bears?
Yeah, so I love the Bodom Bears here as well, and that's given me a headache with this. This is the 4th division as well, and there's some people have been studying, I think, Johnny.
Then we've got the last one. In this one, you've got the Bedford Brewskis against the Preston Hawks, or our boy Pez. So we'll start off the Bedford Brewskis. You've got this is the auto pick. Mahomes, I'm pretty sure, was Mike Flynn, because he was ill when it started. He never picked. So you've got Mahomes, Barkley, Jones, DJ Moore, Devontae Smith, Jordan Addison, Kyle Pitts, Samir White, Jalen Warren, Dicker the Kicker, TJ Watt, Nick Bosa, and then you've got Tua, Tagovailoa, Breece Hall, Kenneth Walker, Drake London, Stephon Diggs, George Pickens, Travis Kelce, Terry McLaurin, Austin Eckler, Tyler Bass, Bobby Arike, and Jordan Brooks.
I mean, we knew that we knew that Walker was going to be popping up in that team, didn't we?
Oh yeah, that was a guarantee. I think he got him in the 5th round or something like that. Something like that.
So I'm not a Tour fan at all this year. I know he's got all the weapons in the world and he should do well, but it just worries me that he's not as good a quarterback as what Miami hoped he would be, and I know that they're sticking with him, and I know that they're giving him a contract now, but we'll see if that works
wait
out.
Wait till you see his backup quarterback.
And he's kind of one head knock away from really being career over, is he not?
Oh yeah, but you thought that 2 years ago when he came in and got knocked out again, it was a bit.
I mean, the Bradford Brewskis, I definitely like that. I mean, that starting lineup is really nice, and don't get me wrong, I like Pezzi's starting lineup. You know, it's I mean, I don't like Diggs in it, but outside of that, it's very good. Addison is going to do fine, but you know, with Jefferson's going to with the quarterback situation there and Jefferson there, it worries me for Addison and the fact he's going to be suspended maybe next year, though, as you said, Everett.
But Pez got
the benches here,
1907.
So there you go, three quarterbacks on the left, so that rules out, and that's such a shame because I liked that team right up until I seen that.
Yeah. He's got a nice little bench going on over here.
Is just a bust.
Yeah, Pez's bench isn't bad actually.
I do like the bench on the right. I like
Sanders,
right, Elliott, Singletary, Sutton, Sanders, Fryermuth, players that can be plugged in straight away. You know,
Levante David.
So yeah, neither of these teams. I thought the one on the left might at the beginning, but then I seen Clyde Edwards-Helaire and 3 quarterbacks, and one of them being Patrick Mahomes. So absolutely wasted 2 bench spots. So for me in this division, I am going with it's the Bodden Bears or the Edinburgh Thunderbirds. I think I'll have to go with Edinburgh Thunderbirds just because it's Edinburgh.
Edinburgh Thunderbirds. Cool. Shall we do the other conference next week? Because it's getting late.
Yes, I think we should do the second conference. That's 2.5 hours we've been on now, Johnny. I think we've tired everybody out plenty enough. So shall we park it
for the
second
Everett
conference?
In this one, without being biased and taking Pez, my pick is the Aberdeen Bucks.
Left field, Everett, love it.
Well, I'm going to go for the Laxdale Legends.
Yeah, it was a good team too.
But I do like Pez. It's only mainly because I picked 3 of his players when he was away on the festival weekend. So, but yeah. So thank you for those that stayed with us for 2 hours and 17 minutes so far. It's been fun. And next week we'll try and get through.
Has all finished as well, which is good. So we've got through them all. I think there is only one division left to be finished, Johnny, if I'm correct.
I think they're 2 picks away from going into the final round, so they'll be finished by hopefully the weekend. Like I say, at their pace for the last 3 rounds, they've been faster than most of them because they've just rattled through it. It just took a while to get into the rhythm, I think. But
jump on and run through the West Conference, shall we?
What's that?
When that division finishes, we'll jump on and we'll run through the West.
Yeah, we'll do that one next week.
Yeah, that's the East Conference. It's everyone ready to go. I hope everyone's looking forward to the start of the season. I hope everyone enjoyed the draft. And let the battles commence, I would say. You know, here we go. Bring it on, bitches.
I know. I think Everett was waiting for you to pick apart his team as well. Like, we're going to have to wait for that one.
Yeah, that's fine.
We'll do that one next time. Don't you worry.
I know.
I'm not sure if Everett can come on next week, though, because I've got you on Monday for the Players in Port show. It will be the same time as this week, though.
When's Tuesday or Wednesday? Is it going to be Tuesday or Wednesday?
Tuesday, because I can do work on the computer on the Wednesday, but I can't on the Thursday because I work on Thursday. So Tuesday's better for me. For getting
I have to relook at my schedule. I probably can make something work.
Very good. You got to pick up. You got to stick up for your team and pick yourself.
I can't do that though. Even though I already know who I'm going to pick. That's not myself, only because I have a grudge.
With Adams and Evans on the 212, 301 turn, I wouldn't show up if I were him.
Oh,
you'll see us in the finals again. I promise you.
See you at the finals.
You've got a good team. So, well, thank you for watching. I'll see you both next week, and I'll see you also Monday, Everett. And it's been fun. It's another long podcast. So, obviously, Everett, you have to make sure you stay on for the recording at the end till it backs up. You don't have to be on the computer. You can just leave it on in the background, because I'm probably going to have to do that because the kids will be on their iPads upstairs and the battery will be slow. But thank you, everybody, for watching, and we'll see you all next week.
Good night.